Move that down there. So hey, let's do this. Y'all give yourselves your own cool introductions, and let's start from there. Yeah.
Sekhmet goes first.
Oh, okay. Hi, my name is Sekhmet, or Emma. I also do the streaming things. I'm quite the book nerd, so I'm hyped to be coming up with a character. I have zero experience with Dungeons and Dragons, but I've always wanted to. So yeah, I'm very excited. Thanks for having me, and congratulations on 2 years.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right, next, let's have I was about to say Senki. I kept mixing it up.
Yeah. You know Senki.
I'm back. My internet died. I'm back.
Welcome back.
I was wondering.
Let's have Enki introduce himself.
Hi friends, I'm Prince Enki14. You can call me Prince, you can call me Enki, you can call me Colton, you can call me whatever the hell you want.
Can I call you 14?
Yeah, if you want to. I stream Zelda Breath of the Wild, Splatoon 2, as well as some other Nintendo games. I really like doing challenge runs and speed runs, and I have no experience with D&D, so I'm excited to build a character and find out what all the hype is about.
All right, next, let's go Calamity.
I'm Calamity Strikes. I stream once in a blue moon, and I upload YouTube videos just as much. But I've been hanging out with Botanist and a few other people for a few months now, and I've never played D&D before. But just like everyone else, I'm excited to create a character and see why it's all hyped up, and I am hyped up as much.
And Katie.
All right. I'm Katie. I've been on Steph streams a couple of times before. I do have some D&D experience. I've been playing D&D with Steph for like a few years now. So I always think it's fun and a blast. I was curious what this session was going to entail. It looks like character creation, which is always fun. I love character creation. That's why I'm a DM now, because I can make so many characters.
So this, my name's Steph. I'm Botanist Cool. I do D&D stuff all the time. So you guys should probably know. You guys probably know that. Me. Thank you for shouting me out on my own channel. It is my second year streaming as of basically December, but we're celebrating today, and it's the fun stuff. I can't thank you guys enough for all your constant support. Go follow Steph on follow me on YouTube. There should be a link down as well. So just overall, thank you guys very much for just being part of the community and hanging out with me. I really can't thank you guys enough. So I don't know if you guys want me to just get into the nitty gritty of it, or if you guys want to like ease your way in. You tell me.
I'm ready for whatever.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, where are we starting as if this is a session 0 before
it is a
we
session
actually
0. Okay.
Yeah, so I think that happens like technically before character ideas, unless someone super wants to play something.
Well, I asked everyone to come up with a general character idea, and if I didn't ask, I forgot to ask. So let me put it like this. What a session 0 is all about is about establishing boundaries, acknowledgement, and expectations for a D&D game. So as an example, one of the first things I'd like to talk about when it comes to D&D games first is, does anybody have any sincere triggers they want to avoid in the game? D&D is a very immersive game, and yes, anything can happen in D&D. That is the also unfortunate part about D&D. So if you have a trigger, whether it be, as an example, I don't like things with eye stuff. It gets me really uncomfortable really quickly. And that's one of the things I'm like, hey, you know what? Can we just avoid talking about eye injuries and significance? And then everyone's like, okay, sure, no problem. It's not really a trigger for me. It's just like something I'd rather avoid. There are other people who have sincere triggers from traumatic events in the past and stuff like that. So the first question I always ask in a D&D session 0 is, does anybody have any triggers? And
now I feel bad because I don't think that I knew that about you, Steph.
We've talked about it a few times.
The guy who lost an eye in the campaign.
We talked about it a few times in the past, but like it wasn't too bad because like when it happened yesterday, it was not that bad. But like if you have, feel free once again, if you want to make up a trigger as an example, that's fine. If you don't want to share your triggers, that's also 100% fine.
Yeah.
It's because there's a public forum.
Yeah, and also like I think sometimes it doesn't have it doesn't have to be a trigger. It can just be like, can we not do this because this makes me uncomfortable, or can we
Exactly.
not do this because I really don't like this or something.
Exactly. So that's my first question to you guys. Do you guys have any triggers that you'd be willing to be comfortable sharing, or no?
I'd say probably no. I feel pretty
I
comfortable
think I
with most
do
things.
now.
Yeah, I don't really have any triggers. I don't like it when main party members go are I don't know what I can say or not say on the stream actually, because it would be nothing that you'd ever cover, but I would say like I I don't like X, Y, and Z.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. All right. Fair enough. So that's the first thing I usually do. I make sure everyone has their triggers or uncomfortableness like
That's
pulled.
a great way to start.
Yeah, it is because
Yeah,
like
I love that. That's
we all
great.
have like our own past stuff to deal with. So
Mhm.
recognizing that we have limits is something important. Like once again, I don't mind hearing about blood splatter and gore, but once you get too much into detail, I'm not a fan of it. So like I don't go into detail.
Yeah.
Like, I might say yes, you cleave him in twain, but I will not say and go into the description about like the sinew and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I would never do that. And some people love that description stuff. Some people don't. I don't. So that's one really good way to start off with session 0. And then after that is just setting up an expectation of what the campaign will be from my point of view. So what I'm planning on doing for this campaign, and I forgot to say this because it was gonna be a little stream surprise. What I'm planning on actually doing for this campaign is maybe once a month actually streaming a episode of this campaign with whoever makes a character. And it's going to be a Westward Marches story, which basically talks about the world itself, not per se the individual characters. That way, if like 10 people make a character and only 4 people could show up, those 4 people could come up, and everyone's just kind of in the troop in the background. Not any characters primarily focused on, but there's also always abilities for people to actually, for people to actually have character development when they're available to do that. So that's my
Love that, I'm in.
Say again?
Love that, I'm in.
So what's a
Same.
westward?
Same.
I don't understand what a westward march means. Like I get what you're saying about I kind of get it, but can you go into more detail?
I believe the term Westward March is referring to a game where you have a centralized group of 10, 15, 20 people, right? And there's kind of one setting, and people will run one-offs based around that one setting, right? And this one setting is going to be, if you guys remembered my Choose Your Own Adventure stream setting, the Kingdom of Kipos's Exploration Guild.
Yeah.
Which I'll go over the story in a bit, but basically what Western March does is basically like you all have a goal, or you all work in the same organization for whatever reason you do, and that's up to you as a character. And then eventually we go on into doing one-offs or 1 or 2 game offs. So let's say, for example, Enki, Sekhmet, and Snowy join me on one game, and Calamity can't make it for whatever reason. Calamity's sick, right? Next game, Calamity could join on in, and their joining in isn't kind of random. They've been in the background the entire time, helping with minor stuff that doesn't directly have to do with rolling and stuff like that.
Love
That's kind of what Western Marches is. I typically run heavy character-driven campaigns, so this is a very big departure for me. But that being said, that's what a Westward March style is. That is me at this point setting up an expectation for you guys, knowing here's how I'm going to be doing my game. You guys will have chances to develop your characters whenever they are available, but not necessarily take a spotlight in terms of you have a character arc over a span of XYZ sessions. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that
Gotcha.
makes sense.
All right,
Okay.
so make a good static character is what I'm hearing.
Not per se. You can make a very dynamic character with your within this context. Like think about it like this: Firefly is very episodic, right?
I've never seen Firefly.
Oh, so good. Firefly is very episodic as a show, and I loved Firefly. It was great. Think about just like any episodic show versus any. You can also think about it kind of like Rick and Morty in a way. Rick and Morty goes between episodic and overarching plot. You know what I'm saying?
Never saw that one either.
I don't know much more. I'm trying to think of any other cool
Danny
references.
Phantom. I don't know.
Actually, Danny Phantom's not the worst thing. It's very episodic.
Right,
There's very few overarching.
I don't know if
plot.
I'd call it any of them like super dynamic. Maybe Jazz.
I mean, the Box Ghost. I don't know if Anki and Segment know what we're talking about.
In the epic story.
No clue.
Oh god, Danny Phantom was
I
a
love
show.
Danny Phantom though. I just haven't seen it in so long. I've remember nothing.
I am the Box Ghost. You know, that's the guy just kind of goes around throwing boxes at people. Great.
That was like a fully imagined character.
Yeah, no, fully imagined. Great. But yeah, basically it's an episodic game that instead of having a character where you're going to be building consistently, you're going to have a character you'll build when it's there, when he or she or they are there. So that's what I'm kind of setting up. At this point in time, I'd actually ask you guys, what do you guys want to see within this game, and what are kind of themes you'd love to explore? Because right now, this game is set up as a exploration game. You guys, the Kingdom of Kipos has recently been able to provide transport to a continent that they have known about, but have been unable to safely get there for an extended period of time. And you guys are now part of the. Let me see what if I can find the name was. I remember it was like shortened to Key. Like KEI or something like that. Yeah, the Kipos Institute of Exploration. You guys are all a member of the Kipos Institute of Exploration to explore this unknown land and make contact with anyone who's already there, understand what's going on, make sure that your outpost is secure. And you guys are basically on a beach outpost that is like aligned up to a mountain where you have some resources, but you're also struggling for some resources as well. There's a small town with a potion shop, general shop, armory, and inns for you guys to sleep at as well. So that's the basics of what I've got. What would you guys like to explore within this kind of setting?
Can I just ask, like, is this going to be more like high fantasy or like
Classic
like,
D&D?
Yeah,
Classic
okay.
D&D with almost a Monster Hunter vibe.
Okay, and we're just basically like helping out with the trade.
You're helping out with the Kipos Institute of Exploration. The kingdom is actually having you guys be the first pioneers into this area. So you guys will be exploring this area as it has been unexplored before. There is knowledge of ruins around the area, so you know there have been civilizations here in the past, but there's nothing in the area that you guys have docked at. There are no recent civilizations you're aware of. That being said, doesn't mean there won't be some that you guys might make contact with, make peace with, etc. And of course there will be levels of conflict that might come up with that in the future, of course, where your players might have to resolve it. So what kind of things do you guys want to see in a world like this? Calamity, Enki, Sekiro, just go for it. What do you think? Or what kind of questions do you have?
Well, right off the bat, when you were describing everything, it made me think of like this seems like an interesting way to have a discussion about colonization.
Yep.
And are you discovering or are you just learning? So going down that road, I'm totally down for it because I think that can get very, very interesting about like the motives between characters and the organization that we're all like working for, and also meeting the people who are already there or the past civilizations who have already been there.
Yeah. I'll say this, from what your characters are aware of, you might have your own motives for being here, but the Kingdom of Institute, the Kipos Institute of Exploration doesn't have any clear defined motives, nor does the kingdom have any explicitly pronounced motives, except for exploration. You do know that Dala Dune, the leader of the Institute of Exploration, is a very chill individual. They are quite lovely, and everyone seems to really respect and appreciate them. I will also say this, just so you're aware, I use the Dunes as a general good force for all players in all my worlds. So I'll say this, the Dunes are generally good aligned individuals, and you know that this person is a respectable individual. That way you have an anchor into knowing what you guys want within this world. If you like, as new players, it's a little intimidating. So I will tell you off the bat, and when I make a Dune in the world, they're typically a very good individual, and Dala Dune is no exception.
Wonderful.
Gotcha. Okay, that's
Yeah,
helpful.
that was the first thing I had thought of was the colonialization, like
Oh yeah.
juxtaposition. But when you were talking about exploring a world, that really excited me. I really love exploring and just like discovering things and learning. So definitely exploring and learning from the environment, from the world you're exploring, and from the people who are there.
Awesome. Calamity, any questions?
Honestly, I don't really have any questions. I'm kind of just taking it all in.
Fair
Everything
enough.
else sounds really good, so yeah.
Yeah, themes of colonialization. This is definitely a setting that is ripe for that kind of that kind of route. It's definitely not an impossible thing to discover. And once again, depending on what happens in the future, you guys may interact with that theme in a way. It's just shown some interest. I might try to push that theme a little bit to see where you guys would want to do that in a more climactic area. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I like
Gotcha.
that.
Yeah. I just want to say that like I'm down for that. I just want to be cautious in a stream session. Like here's my session 0 stuff is like,
Yeah.
There's a lot of things where it's like when you're trying out different roles, like that I'm more comfortable doing that in a private game than a public game. Because in a public game that can be taken out of context if you you could be playing a character you don't necessarily believe in or something, and then that could lead to something awkward.
For sure.
That's a very good point.
This is also another point where I want to go, that as a DM, your job is to do a lot of research. I'll give you an example. During one of my games, I did have a situation where there was a horrible kingdom that had second-class citizens, right? This kingdom was actually based off the Greek and Ottoman empires, where as a Greek individual, I have a lot of knowledge of the history of how the Greeks suffered under the Ottoman empires. So I had things that respected the history of the Greeks, as an example, where the Greeks began making churches with doors that were in the shape of human beings, because sometimes Ottoman Empire soldiers would come in with their horses and desecrate the church. So the people of like lizard folk and stuff would have their meeting areas only accessible to lizard folk by either having the doors shaped like that or having entryways that required them to be submerged into mud or something like that. That way their meeting areas were kept secret, in the same way that a lot of Greek churches were kept secret. So if you ever do, thank you. If you ever do talk about something serious, you have to do a sincere amount of research to give the respect to the topic, as well as the nuance. Obviously, if you're playing a bad character, they're going to come off as a bad character, and you have to realize that it's a story that you're paying respect to the history of, and two, you as the characters are interacting with that story. So if you want to tell a good story of as an example, making peace with people you find on this continent that you have only known about for a little while, then that's a story you're going to push for. That's a story you're going to fight for. You might fight someone who's wants a resource kind of grubby individual who wants that kind of stuff. And I love putting environmental messages in my games all the time, so that's always a little in there. But that's, as a DM and as a player too, you have to do research and of course respect the game and the situation and the history of what you're dealing with. That is another tip and trick. After that, after this point, we've talked about triggers, we talked about the world and the expectations of the world. The next part is the fun part. Everyone open that PDF I sent you on the pings for people to join and stuff channel I made.
Gotcha.
And you're gonna have your character sheet. This beautiful thing you'll see on the top right hand corner of my screen. That's our character sheet. It is gorgeous. It is beautiful. I asked you guys to think of some general ideas for characters you wanted to think of. Think about a character you'd love to put in this world. And Let's talk it out. Give me some of the general themes and ideas you were thinking about for your character, and we could just go straight down the list. Let's start with Calamity.
I did as much as I could with the very little time and everything. I literally just have like, I kind of am leaning towards something a little bit more simple, and I was looking at a halfling.
Okay.
I haven't decided which one.
Yeah.
I was kind of liking the Lightfoot one.
All right.
Yeah, just because it's like, I feel like Lightfoot, I read up on it and everything, but it sounds like it's like quick on their feet.
Mm-hmm.
And everything, and so, and then I got lost at class, so that's really all I got.
That's fair. So you have an idea. What about your character? What's your motivation for your character? That's the question. Because like we could get to the class based off your character. So you got a race, halfling. Halflings are very communal races. Think about hobbits. Basically, they're just hobbits.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was going after kind of thing.
Yeah, you got a very communal individual. Likely that's their upbringing. They're light on their feet. What kind of role do you want them to take? Do you want to do damage? What kind of motivation do they have? Why do they join the Institute?
I kind of had like a little. Let me see what I was thinking of.
Yeah,
I had a couple of ideas. I think the main thing was like I was thinking of it being like a little bit more like they're adventurous, kind of young. Wanting just to get out into the world and explore, so it kind of fits with the setting of the thing. And so, but that's kind of all I have. They're excited. They're a little bit naive, wanting to go out and explore and see what there is out there, and kind of going head first, kind of headstrong, I guess.
That's enough to build a character right there. You got enough to build a character. Think like this. So for you to remind these, take a look at those personality traits and your ideals right here on the right hand side. Personality traits: headstrong, naive, excitable. You now have a basics of that character, right? What are your ideals? Exploration, discovery. Do you have any bonds at home? Like everyone in chat, take a look at that right-hand column. What are the personality traits, ideals, bonds, and flaws your character has? That's something you should be thinking about. At least just not a lot. You don't need to put everything into it. Your character will grow over the span of how you play D&D. You do not need to have a fleshed out character when you first start the game. But think about some of those traits. Sekhmet, why don't you give us some ideas you have on the personality traits, ideals, bonds, and flaws of your character?
Okay, so I really wanted my character to be kind of reckless and being like, I'm tough, fight me.
I love it.
Like trying to prove like, yo, I may be little and young, but like test it, see what happens, kind of.
Yeah.
Kind of type of character. But I really wanted the character to be like really, really smart, but just maybe not like street smarts, but like academically and like logically they are very, very intelligent, but that can get them in, not great situations because maybe they're not really reading the room.
I love it. Okay, those are some good personality traits, ideas, etc. Enki, what have you got?
Oh boy. All right. Well, looking at the races, I was really drawn to honestly, at first I was drawn to just the human race. I thought that was really cool, but I didn't like the short lifespan of it. So I went for the elf race for kind of a more fantastical and longer lifespan.
Mm-hmm.
And then for class, I was really drawn to the monk class.
All right.
Reading the description, it says, taking a deep breath, a human covered in tattoos settles into a battle stance, and I was like sold. Like that was it. So the calm mind, like covered in tattoos and like magic of having a focused mind, I was in love with that. So
awesome.
That's kind of what drew me to just the basics of my character.
All right, so we have we have you wanting to do a monk elf. Very cool. We have a halfling we don't know yet, and we have someone who's tough and smart and is like, come at me, bro, but also like, I love it. Katie, what are some of the flaws and ideas of yours of your character?
So I'm kind of coming up with mine on the fly because you might have mentioned to me once to make it, but then I forgot. And you know me, I like to make characters that fit off the world more than anything. Like, that's usually important to me, so I probably wouldn't have made it until I heard you talk about it the session 0 anyways.
Fair enough.
So what I came up with is I like the idea of having a changeling, and the idea is that they're sort of, I want them to be charismatic, maybe a bard, so that like they sort of can make good first contact with any new races by just changing into that race, basically. And it's kind of like, you know, like he can like slip into there and sort of like check it out from like a deceptive point of view.
Like a recon guy.
Yeah, like, you know, like it's like, well, what's the belief of these things? Like, how do they feel towards outsiders? It's like, well, let me go let me go find out.
So I'll say this, just so you guys know, Katie's going to be probably using stuff that's not in just the player's handbook that's free on D&D Beyond. For everyone else, we'll use stuff that's in the player's handbook as a first character because it's easier to start with the player handbook, in my personal opinion. So we're just going to start with that. Go on from there. But yeah, continue on, Katie.
Did someone want to say something, though?
Oh, no, I was just going to say, I forgot to say that I wanted to be a gnome. That's it. Sorry.
Oh, a gnome. Okay. I love gnomes are cool. Gnomes are smart little. Sorry, I was about to say a bad word and I'm on the
smart little fuckers.
Yeah, basically. Gnomes are very interesting creatures. And I races. I do quite. We have two very small lads so far, and one tall one with the elf. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So yeah, that's basically the general idea I've come up with so far. I haven't quite decided. I think probably Bard, because I don't see him being like the warlock type, but I do see him being like a guy who acts more cheerful than he is. Like he sort of has this like false side to him that he puts up in order to, like, the same way that he sort of goes into these peoples in a new land or whatever. He still has that with people from his own homeland. He has this all around disconnect. That makes him skilled at
all right.
Yeah.
All right. So everyone's figured out a few personality traits, ideals, bonds, and flaws. Write them all in. Write every single one in on the personality, or write at least a couple in so you have a general idea. D&D used to heavily rely on alignment for what you want to do, and it still does have alignment, lawful good, lawful evil, etc. like that, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But your character is going to be shaped by what you write on that right-hand side. Your personality traits, your ideals, your bonds, and your flaws. That's how you're going to start shaping your character. When I made Coyote as an example, her personality trait was cynical, and her flaws were cynical and just untrusting, stuff like that. So like I had a general ideal for her. Her ideals were strength in individualism versus and that a open hand could do more damage than a closed fist. Like those are some of her ideals, you know? So I've had a few of those. Write a few of those down because that's going to shape your character as you begin to grow your character. And hey, if you guys are watching, do it for your own characters too. You could build a character alongside us and tell us in chat what you're building. We'd love to hear it.
Yeah, so for my personality traits, I've written down crafty, charismatic, and secretive.
Mm-hmm.
For his ideals, I just wrote down I keep my cards close to my chest. And for his flaws, I said he can be two-faced and often feels disconnected from others.
Great. That's a great starting base. And everyone kind of mentioned a lot of that stuff in there. Anki was talking about their character having a calm mind, relaxed, and maybe a little artistic with the want for tattoos. Who knows? I don't know. But like, it sounds like Anki has a general idea of who they want their character to be, and Sekhmet and Calamity does. So once you get that done, we'll move on to kind of the next part, which is this top part here: your character name, class and level, which you're just going to put monk level 1. And if you don't know what your class is yet, that's fine. We'll get to it in a second. Your name, your race, alignment, which the alignment is kind of, think about this, an XY chart. On the top, you have lawful. On the bottom, you have chaotic. On the left, you have evil. On the right, you have good. So you could be lawful neutral. You could be lawful good. You could be chaotic good. You could be chaotic neutral, chaotic evil, neutral evil, or neutral good, or evil neutral, evil lawful, and so on and so forth. Or just true neutral if you're really going for that like individualist vibe. If you want to be a druid, you have to be neutral somewhere. But other than that, there's no limitations unless your class says one. So what do you guys think? Is your character good, evil? What do you guys think?
I think my character's somewhere on the neutral.
All right.
For sure.
I put chaotic neutral.
Yeah, I don't know if he's chaotic or just true neutral. I need to think on it.
I feel somewhere between chaotic neutral and chaotic good.
Out of curiosity, are monks allowed to be chaotic?
Oh,
For real. Ooh.
That's my question.
Okay.
No, that's the thing.
No,
Like,
great question.
I actually do not know the monk class that well.
I'd homebrew it to be anything, but
As a result of structural life of a monastic community, discipline required honest chi, monks are almost always lawful in the alignment. So almost always doesn't necessarily mean they
Almost
can't
always.
be, but
Okay.
you might want to take the fact that being a monk does require a level of lawfulness. So if you still think your monk is going to be chaotic, that's fine. Go for it. But taking into account what a monk is, you might want to consider maybe a different play at it. You know what I'm saying? But you make that choice.
For sure. What part is that in the creating a monk section that you found that?
I found that under creating a monk. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. Sakmat, what about you?
So I'm also seeing here that it says gnomes are most often good, which is great because I did mark it as good. I think my character would be quite chaotic since I wrote down like I'm tough, fight me, and then I also wrote down come on sis, read the room.
All right, yeah. Right chaotic good in there. Now I'm gonna give a warning because a lot of people love going chaotic. There's a difference between chaotic and chaotic neutral and chaotic stupid. Just be aware of that.
Ooh, good point. Good point.
People go chaotic stupid a lot, and some people are like, "Oh, I'm just so chaotic. I just stab people. I'm a murder hobo." Don't. I'll say that. I am not a DM who handles murder hobos. I will bring down consequences on you like no tomorrow.
That's not what I'm thinking of, but okay.
It's actually just a general warning, but Calamity, I'm looking at you right now.
I know. I kind of have an idea of what I want to do, so
Awesome.
Killing hombos is not one of them. So
Okay. All right. If you have an idea for what your class or what you want your class to be, feel free to write that down and open the page for your class and just read it over a little bit. Who does not know what they want their class to be?
me.
I do not know.
I'm still torn between two subclasses, so
All right, you know your classes though, so I'm going to leave you be.
Yeah.
All right, let's start with Calamity. Calamity.
Yeah.
You kind of mentioned that you're a outgoing individual. You want to kind of go out there and explore the area. There are some classes that you might want to consider that I would recommend for that kind of vibe, especially if you're going for the more adventurous vibe. If you take a look at the classes, you might want to consider either a druid, a fighter, a ranger. It doesn't sound like you do a lot of magical stuff, but you also might want to go for a rogue too if you kind of want to go like sneaky, you know, kind of deal.
I was kind of leaning more towards like a ranger or a fighter, because kind of now that I'm like writing out my like the personality traits, trying to get like an idea of it.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I want, where it's like they're very very light and happy and kind of daydreamy, but when they need to fight, they just go full feral kind of thing.
I like it. That might also work well with Barbarian, because Barbarians have a thing called rage.
Ooh.
So do me a favor, take a look at Barbarian. It sounds like that's something you might want to take a look at. And there's a few subclasses of Barbarian there, but I think they only give you Path of the Berserker, which is just More damage. Segment, what about you?
I really don't have any ideas here.
When I was hearing about your character being crafty and intelligent, like smart, do you want your character to use magic, or do you want them to use less magic? Like, what are you looking for? A mix? What do you think?
I kind of am vibing with the magic. I'd
Okay.
like my character to do some magic.
So if you're thinking like intelligent, I would either recommend the artificer or the wizard class, because they both rely on intelligence. You would not want to go one of the wisdom classes because you don't sound street smart.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If you want to go charismatic, the sorcerer is an option as well. But if you want to go intelligence, I would recommend personally either artificer or wizard. And you could build your artificer to be a support character. You could build your wizard to be support or DPS. There's a lot of things you could do here. So, tell me a little bit more about your character. Like, do you think your character will want to tinker with things and make make inventions and stuff, or do you think your character would want to do magic along the lines of classic wizard book and scepter kind of deal?
I think kind of that. Like, I kind of picture my character being like, "Oh, I have an idea because I learned this. Here's this, like, I don't know, potion or something I can lace on a arrow and shoot it, and something would have some sort of an effect."
Look at artificer. That's
Artificer.
there's literally an artificer.
W Gaming says you are my fire, the one desire believe when
Ooh,
say
I see.
wanted that way, but we are two worlds apart, can't
Ooh.
reach to your heart when you say that wanted that way, tell me why ain't nothing
wait,
but
wait.
a heartache, tell me why ain't nothing but a mistake, tell me.
I never wanna hear you say I want. Sorry, someone just put it in there under the chat. I didn't even see it come up. I'm like, wait, what happens? who redeemed that? Thank you for redeeming that. Tell me why it ain't nothing but a heart. That was King Shadow Gaming. Oh my god. Okay, King Shadow Gaming. Thank you very much. But yeah, that's so. Here's the really cool thing, Calamity. You might have already noticed this. As you began talking about your character's ideals and traits, you started focusing in on what role they would play. I don't know if you noticed that. That's the whole point of a session 0. At this point in time, by learning about your character, you've already kind of focused in on it, which is really cool. And that's kind of how D&D will work. As you start thinking about your character, it's going to come naturally to you as you begin to have guidance from the DM and, of course, from your fellow players. Were you going to say something, Katie?
Oh yeah, I was like, are we starting at level 1 actually?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Oh, so I don't think we even need to choose our subclasses.
You do
My
not.
bad.
You do not need to choose any subclasses yet.
I chose it anyway.
Enki, let's talk to you about your monk stuff. That way we know what you're doing. So you had some time to go on it. What are you thinking with your monk?
So here's what I was thinking for a backstory.
Yeah.
And I think it kind of aligns with a monk being chaotic good. So for
Okay.
a backstory, I was thinking of being from a very rich, very well-off family that's almost aligned with royalty, but not specifically royal in and of itself.
Almost like a duke's advisor or something.
Okay, yeah. And while growing up and seeing more of the world and learning more about my parents and family and like their ideals, realizing that I don't really want to be aligned with that.
Okay.
And I would rather leave and travel and help like as many people as I want to.
So here's my question.
Really. Okay.
What are your family's ideals? Are they what ideals is your character opposing, basically is what the question is. Because yeah, it's great to like find yourself, but you're saying like they're opposing an ideal. What ideal are they opposing?
Honestly, a lot of ideals that align with colonialism and exploration,
Okay.
I think. And yeah, I think that more of like we're like I am well off and I am better than everyone because of that.
Okay. All right. I mean, that really fits for an elf. I'll tell you that much. Okay. See, this is some good ways. So the only way open to you really is Monk of the Way of the Open Hand. And I believe the Cobalt Soul is a thing, but it's unofficial material. But let's take the official material for now. So we'll have you go Way of the Open Hand. That being said, that's at level 3. So all right. So we chose our races and we chose our abilities. Now put your class in, whatever your class is chosen. So Calamity, have you chosen a class?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Barbarian.
Heck yeah!
I like it. I read thing it was like a feral. Well, what did it say? It's a feral something, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm totally doing it. I think it's feral instinct.
So it's Barbarian, Monk, and then what was the last one?
Yeah, second. Do you think you're gonna go Artificer, or do you want to take a look at Wizard?
Yeah, Artificer. That was sounding really cool.
All right, I'm an Artificer main, so.
Yeah, stuff like the Artificer.
It is. I love going Alchemist very specifically because I love that potion witchy aesthetic. Oh, this is Tasha. Oh wait, okay, Artificer. Do you have access to the Artificer?
I do not, but I googled it.
So did you
Should
find
I
it?
not pick it?
Yeah, no. Go for it. In my opinion, what's the website you're using? Just so I know.
It is D&D Wiki dot.
Perfect. That's a good website. All right.
It's telling me it's not secure.
Yeah, that's a good website. Don't worry about it. It is a reliable website. I like it. D&D Wiki. I'm gonna pull up the page myself just so I know. D&D Wiki dot Artificer. Yeah, go for it. Yeah, I didn't know it was behind a paywall here. I might not be able to show it on stream, but yeah, how rude. Gosh. D&D Wiki, that's a good one. It'll get you some extra stuff, but yeah. So as an Artificer, the cool thing is you have magical tinkering, which is exactly what you asked for. You get to make an object shed bright light. Whenever you tap a creature, you can like do recorded messages and stuff like that. That's just really fun. We're only gonna concentrate on level 1 stuff. So everyone take a look at your level 1 stuff. All right, and we're gonna start with the basic stuff. First and foremost, your proficiency bonus is going to be +2 for everyone. So fill out your proficiency bonus on your sheet, +2. Nice and easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Are you finding the level things?
So you're going to see that when you go on Monk as an example, if you go down here, you're going to see that's Barbarian, but you'll see like down below under creating a monk, you'll see the monk table.
Got it.
And you'll see level 1, proficiency bonus 2, right? You're also going to see 2 features. Read those features and understand what they are. So as an example, Rage. In battle, you fight with Primal Furiosity. On your turn, you can enter Rage as a bonus action. We'll talk about actions in the future. Don't worry about it. And while raging, you gain the following benefits if you're not wearing heavy armor. You have advantage on strength checks and strength saving throws. You make a melee attack weapon using strength. You add bonus damage. You have resistance to bludgeon, piercing, and slashing damage. All beautiful. And it lasts for 1 minute. So that's pretty long. And of course, you have Unarmored Defense at level 1 as well. Which means while you're not wearing armor, your armor class equals 10 plus dexterity plus constitution modifier. We'll talk more about that in a little bit, but know what these are, and just so you remember what they are, put them in the features and traits on the right hand side. Yes, I didn't curse. Yes,
what a legend! Because I did it for you.
Yeah, put them in the features and trait on the right side. So as an example, just Unarmored Defense, and put like a little note being like 10 plus Dex plus Con, just so you know what it is, right? Write it as ever you want. If you have any questions on your stuff, tell me now, and I'll help you write that down and understand it. We'll start with Enki, because Enki, you were talking about your monk. Do you need help with your stuff there on the monk table?
No, it's looking okay.
Oh, you have Unarmored Defense too.
I do, yes, and martial arts.
Yeah, and you got martial arts. For a monk, if anyone wants to play a monk, martial arts at first level, you participate in martial arts that gives you mastery of combat styles and unarmed strikes. You gain the following benefits when you're not wearing armor. So you're gonna be in like cloth all day, yeah, and not wielding a shield. Dexterity instead of strength for your damage rolls when you punch people. You can use a D4 in place of normal damage for your unarmed strikes. Fantastic. And when you use an attack with an unarmed strike or a monk weapon, you can make one unarmed strike as a bonus action. You basically get 2 attacks almost right off the bat, which is fantastic. And you get key at level 2, so we're not going to worry about that. And unarmored defense, you get a wisdom modifier instead of a constitution modifier like the barbarian does. Katie, do you need any help understanding the bard, or are you good?
I think I'm good. I'll read it. I'm reading it all.
Sekhmet and Calamity?
I'm just reading about magical tinkering. Ooh.
Yeah, that's a fun one. That's a fun one. When it comes to the artificer, you're going to get spell casting as well. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. But, all right, this is fantastic. So whatever you know. Put that down. We're good. So we should have this filled out. We should have personality traits filled out. Bold and brash, I'm going to put as an example for me. Ideals. Art must be bold and brash. I'm making Squidward. Annoying neighbors and flaws. Clarinet playing. He's going to be a bard. Squid. Ward, like a ward. Bard level 1. Background, we'll talk about that later. Player name, the devil himself. Because no one would actually play Squidward. Race, squid. I'll make him an elf. He's pompous. High elf. What kind of elf are you, by the way, Enki? Are you a high elf or a wood elf?
I did not get that far.
No worries. We'll talk about that later then. All right.
Okay.
All right. So we should have that filled out. Now we're going to do the fun stuff. The dice rolling. Do you guys have dice?
I'll have mine in a minute.
On D&D Beyond, there is a dice rolling
There
feature.
is also one on D&D Beyond you can use as well. Or you can find any online dice roller. It's up to you. I'm going to trust you for your rolls. So what we're going to do now is we're going to actually roll our dice 4 times. So I want everyone to give me an example. If you roll 4d6 or 4 normal dice, I want you to do that for me and tell me what your numbers are. Let's start with Calamity.
You said a D6, right?
Yep, 4d6.
Okay. 1, 2. All right, roll. Oh, wow, that's slow.
Fantastic. What is it?
I got 2 5s, a 2, and a 3.
2 5s, a 2, and a 3. So you take out the lowest one and you add them all together. So you have a 13. Write that 13 somewhere, all right? That's,
just anywhere?
Yeah, for right now, write it down anywhere. That's 1 stat. Do it 5 more times to get a total of 6 stats. So so I would write it down just like wherever you want to write it down. It doesn't matter. But you got a 13 as an example. So I'm gonna do a few rolls for myself just to give an example. I got a 3, a 2, a 1, and a 1. So I got a 6. That's a low stat. 3, 5. And a 1, a 9, another low stat. Okay, just do that for
question.
Yeah.
I just did a second roll, and it was a 5, a 5, a 6, and a 5. Which one do I take out then?
5, 5, 6, 5. Take out one of the 5s. Take out one of the 5s.
Okay.
That's a 16. That's a good roll. I'm getting shite rolls over here. 5.
Wait, so I just found like a dice roller simulator thing because we don't have dice.
Yeah, that's fine.
How many dice am I rolling?
4d6.
4d6.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. And then I just write it anywhere on the paper?
For now, yes.
Gotcha.
I actually got a 17. Not bad. All right. Good
Oh
job.
my god, I got
Squidward.
1, 2, 3, 4.
That's a 9, homie. I'm sorry. That's 10. All right, cool.
Are you
Alright.
kidding me?
What'd you get?
I have 13, 16, 13, and 12.
That's good so far.
No, 14. No, my bad. 14.
That's good so far.
That's good. All
How
right.
many-
You want to hear mine? Mine's not
You want
so
numbers
high.
above 10 typically.
Yeah, and I have 3 that are below 10.
Oh, that happens.
I have 16, 7, 14, 5, 16, and 6.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah, that's super rough. Let me see. How many are below 0? Let's see how doomed I am here.
We'll get to that in one moment for everyone. So once you get all your stats, once you get all 6 stats, you're going to want to put them in strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. So some of those low stats might make sense for your character. As an example, Sekhmet, I think you got like a 9 somewhere. Putting that in wisdom would make sense for your character because they're not street smart, right?
Right.
So that might make sense. So you can actually play off these strengths. So as an example, for the Barbarian, the strengths you're going to want to focus on are the ones you're going to focus on are strength, dexterity, and constitution, which you're going to want your highest ones probably in strength or constitution, depending on how you want to play your character. Big damage or big tank. So if you want big damage, number 1 goes to strength, and then dexterity, constitution is your choice.
Mhm.
And then you can throw it around wherever you want. For an artificer, you're going to focus on intelligence, dexterity, and constitution. For a monk,
Okay.
dexterity, constitution, wisdom. And for a bard, charisma, dexterity, and constitution. So put your highest ones wherever you want. And obviously, if you have some low ones,
I have +3, -2, +2.
well, we'll get to that in a second. We haven't talked about the new players
-3.
yet. We haven't talked to the
+3
modifiers.
and negative.
We haven't talked to about the modifiers to the new players yet. Let's give them a second to put that in. All right. When everyone
Sorry,
is
Botanist.
think I got
When you're rolling the 4d6, how do you add it up? Do you take away the
take
lowest
away the
one?
lowest one, yes,
Cool. And how many times do I do that?
6 times.
6. Okay. Sorry.
No, you're good. Don't apologize. This is what a Session Zero is all about. It's helping people build stuff and understand things. 100%. Do not apologize. That is my job as a DM. If you have a DM who gets frustrated with you on your first time playing about not knowing how to make a character,
They suck.
thank you. No DM's perfect, but a DM needs to be able to understand that new players are going to have a harder time making their characters for the first time. But basically, we've got the basics of what we need. So I'm going to give Squidward a 6 in strength. I'm going to give him a 12 in dexterity, a 10 in constitution. I'll give him a 17 in intelligence, even though he's a bard, because his charisma is absolutely horrible. And his wisdom's even worse. So there we go. I did that just because I'm making an example Squidward. Squidward. Ward.
Oh.
Yeah. He's a ward to someone or something. All right. Who has their 6 stats done?
I think I do.
All
Me
right.
too.
All right. So let's start with Calamity. Just go straight down again. Calamity, what are your stats?
I have a 16 in strength,
Jesus.
a 13 in dexterity,
All right.
a 14 in constitution,
All right.
12 in intelligence,
Yep.
an 8 in wisdom, and a 13 in charisma.
You're not re-rolling jack squat. Okay, I have a house rule that if someone has a lot of low stuff, I'll let them re-roll 1 or 2 stats. You're not re-rolling jack squat. Okay. Fantastic. Enki, what have you got, homie?
Remind me what 3 monks should focus on.
If you haven't placed them yet, that's fine. You should probably, if you want to, focus on dexterity, constitution, and wisdom. Depending on how you want your monk to go with higher key point stuff and like spirituality, you might want to put more in wisdom than in dexterity or constitution, but it's up to you. I would, if you're min-maxing it, you probably want to go a little more into dexterity. But
Cool.
if
So
you... Go on.
I do have mine placed then.
All right, go for me.
So I got strength 12, dexterity 16, constitution 13, intelligence 10, wisdom 14, and charisma 9.
All right, cool. You're not getting any rerolls either. Sekhmet.
Okay, strength I have 7, dexterity 11, constitution 12, intelligence 18, wisdom 9, and charisma 8.
Okay, you have three of them under 10, which I believe is your strength, wisdom, and charisma.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna have you change your wisdom. You want your wisdom to be low, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
offer you the choice to re-roll your charisma, but you have to accept it. If it's lower, it's lower. If it's higher, it's higher. You have to accept it. Sound good?
Ooh, a risk. That sounds great.
All right, re-roll it and tell me what the new one is.
Okay, here we go. Okay, I got 2, 5, 6, and 4.
That's a 15. That's a lot better. I will say this. If you want to swap out the charisma for another stat, that's fine by me. So if you want to say you want to put that 15 somewhere else, like in dexterity or something, you're fine to do that. Dexterity will help you dodging, and then you move the dexterity down to your charisma. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll switch those. So dexterity will go to 15, and charisma goes to 11.
Awesome. All right, cool. Good rerolls. Katie.
All right, so I have a 5 in strength.
Yeah, I feel that.
A 16 in dexterity, a 14 in constitution, a 7 in intelligence, a 6 in wisdom, and a 16 in charisma.
Jesus.
I'm like all over the place.
Is your character a himbo?
No, that is not what I wanted to play. That's what the stats are trying to tell me to play. That's not what I wanted to play.
What was your intelligence and wisdom again?
My intelligence was 7 and my wisdom was 6.
I'll let you re-roll one of those.
I'll re-roll the wisdom.
Go for it.
Right, that's 5, 4, 3, which
Hi,
is
Captain
a lot
Mordog. How you
better.
doing today? So as a DM, I personally don't find 2 negative traits are a bad thing. If you play it right, you have a well-rounded party with you, it's definitely a good thing. Calamity's got a lot of positive things in hers. So does Enki. Can you tell me your low traits one more time, Sekhmet, just so I'm aware?
My personality traits, that we said?
Sorry, your strength, like your strength stuff. Which ones are the ones below 10?
Oh yeah, strength is 7, and then wisdom is 9.
That makes sense for your character. We're gonna keep it then. All right.
Cool.
And what about Katie? Which ones are yours again?
So after that reroll, my wisdom's now 12, but my low ones are intelligence is 7 and strength is 5.
Yeah, we'll keep that. We'll keep it. I think that's fair. All right. All right. And hey, Captain Wardog, welcome on in. My name's Steph. I'm Botanist Cool. We're doing a session 0 / first time people are making characters, kind of like quest helper things. So feel free to enjoy your time here and make a character alongside us if you want. Tell us what you make, what you main, and all that good stuff too. All right. Now, here's the cool thing. These numbers are not your final numbers. In fact, we're going to go to your races. And as an example, let's go to Elf. An elf's racial traits will give you, let me take a look at those, a +2 to dexterity, and depending on the kind of elf you use, like a high elf or a wood elf, it'll give you a +1 to intelligence or +1 to wisdom. So Enki, if you want to min-max, wood elf would be your thing to go. That being said, you don't need to min-max, obviously. If you want to be pompous and high elf for the character, that makes sense too. Definitely go that route. That being said, if we're talking about our gnome friend, gnomes get a +2 to intelligence, which is great for your build. They are smart little guys. And I believe the deep gnomes get a dexterity +1, and the rock gnomes get a constitution +1. So you could choose either of those to have, depending on what kind of gnome you want, deep or rock.
I think I was going deep gnome.
Okay, then your stats will increase 2 to intelligence and 1 to dexterity.
Gotcha.
All right. For our halfling friend, halflings. Oh. Whoa, wait, what? Oh my god, a rate of 28 people? Thank you very much, Captain Moordog.
Oh my god!
Oh,
wow. Yo, thank you very
A lot of
much.
people all of a sudden.
That's awesome!
Here.
Hi, Raiders. My name is Steph. I'm Botanist Cool, and I'm a little surprised. I'm an actual horticulturist. Today we're talking D&D, and we're bringing. Thank you for the follow. We're having characters. We're having people make their first character ever today.
Hey, I'm Wardog.
Wardog, thank you very much. Can I get a shout out for Wardog researcher Enki? Oh my God, thank you very much. Oh my God, if we actually reach 250 followers, 750 followers today, I am going to give out 20 gift subscriptions. So please leave a follow if you guys would like. We're doing some D&D stuff. We're hosting a session 0 and a character creation stuff. So yeah, I have Razzie Dazzle knows what's up. Bold and Brash hanging out there. Captain Wardog, thank you very much. And hey guys, welcome on in. What were you streaming, Captain Wardog? Do tell us. I'd love to hear what you guys are doing. It sounds like Captain Wardog, you might do something D&D related. Tell us. We'd love to know. Beautiful guys. And hey guys, thank you very much, Linny Beanie, Matthew Madness, Mirka HL, Jermaine Era, Razzie Dazzle, 5 Ways. Thank you guys for joining on with me. I'm Steph. I'm Botanist Cool. I'm an actual horticulturalist, and I've been DMing for about the last 12 years. So if you guys want to talk about D&D, this is the place. I have a YouTube series called Quest Helper that I do a lot of homebrew and stuff like that on there. I talk about some of my favorite things about some classes. So feel free to check that out. And we're just here having fun. Linny Beanie, it's great to meet you too. Today we're helping Sekhmet, Enki, and Calamity make their first characters ever in D&D, running a session 0, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. Feel free to introduce yourselves real quick, guys.
Hi, I'm Enki.
All at the same time, go.
Everyone, same time, go. Everyone talk over each other.
Hi, I'm Enki. I stream Splatoon and Breath of the Wild, and I'm happy to be here creating my first character in D&D with the wonderful Steph at Botanist Cool. Go follow. That sounded like just me. I'm disappointed in you all.
Hi, I'm Katie. I don't stream, but I'm on Steph's streams pretty often for things like Ace Attorney and sometimes stuff like D&D and such.
Our beautiful gay lawyers, we love them.
And yeah.
We actually do have a halfling. We actually have a halfling, Mirka.
Oh, yeah, me. I am Calamity. I make like video essay YouTube videos on the occasion, and I stream on the occasion. And I come onto Steph's streams every once in a while to play Phasmo. the 2 times I've done it.
I'm Sekhmet. I also stream. I'm a very big book nerd. And I also started playing Splatoon, so, that's fun.
Awesome. So that's everyone here, guys. We're going to continue on to session 0. This is my 2nd year anniversary streaming special, so I'm going on till midnight. We're going to have some Super Smash Brothers Splatoon after this. Weezy Jack, thank you very much for the follow. I love that song so much, and I'm glad you guys like that. So we're going to continue on with our session 0. If you guys want to make a character alongside us, get yourself a character sheet, get on D&D Beyond. Let's start talking some D&D because we're still pretty early on in the character creation. So you guys have had a chance probably now to kind of read what your characters can do, right? You probably have information on your traits and stuff. So add those to your scores. That's very important. So as Squid Ward is a high elf, I would be adding, let's go right up over here. Elf traits. I would be adding a 2 to dexterity, and as a high elf, I'd be adding a 1 to intelligence. So I'm going to do that alongside you guys. So 2 to dexterity, 14. Oops, that's a 24. And a 1 to intelligence, so 18. He's going to be a really crappy bard with a 6 in crit. Yeah, I love it.
For my character, I'm going high elf.
All right, go for it.
So brings my dexterity up to 18 and my intelligence up to 11.
Nice.
I also realized I meant to do rock elf, not deep. Or sorry, rock gnome. Goodness, not deep gnome.
Go for it. Go for it.
I'm all confused. Okay, cool.
Yeah, 100%. No, go for it.
I now have a 14 in charisma, so
Radical.
Ooh.
Nice.
Was research with you guys? If you recommended them come here, thank you very much. I saw you in the raid message with them. Captain Wardog, I want to come check you out one day too. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. We're talking D&D. If you guys play D&D, tell me in the chat. I would love to know. And I would love to see what you guys do when you play D&D. I'm gonna take a quick look at Captain Wardog here real quick. We got that on the screen. It's gonna take a second to come on up, but I'm gonna leave you a follow, my dude. Thank you very much. Where's that follow button? There we go.
Excuse me.
Oh, you're good. You're good. Followed. I'm gonna come see your streams. I'm gonna leave myself lurking. I just finished a writing assignment. Good luck with your writing assignment. Finals are coming up. I know. Yeah, Mirika, tell us about your characters. I'd love to hear about it. Hello. My pleasure. All right, so here is where the confusing math part of D&D kind of comes in some, right? We're gonna take these stats and turn them into modifiers. Why D&D is a pain in the ass of this, I don't know. So long story short, you could find a modifier list probably on Google, but you're gonna take your stat, subtract 10 and divide by 2. So as an example, 14, subtract 10, 4, divide by 2, 2. Your stat for that is gonna be a +2. 6, subtract 10, -4, divide by 2, -2. That's how it's gonna go. So fill that out on your over here. If it's a 10, flat 0. If it's an 18, you're gonna get a beautiful +4.
Or use the link I
Do we use
pasted
halves?
for easy math times.
Do we use half numbers?
No,
Or do
you
we
round down. You round down.
Round down. Okay.
I posted a link that does the math for you.
Okay, yeah, that's
Thank
great.
you.
Yeah.
The first thing I do whenever I create a character sheet on my own is I Google how to fill it out, and then I take the easiest way.
Oh, I'm on
every
the exact same.
All right, sounds good, Mirika. Thank you very much for just joining on in. I hope you have a fantastic time just lurking and maybe listening to some new players make characters and feel us. Let me talk about you 3 halflings. Yo, get some halfling love in here. All right.
Shout out to my halflings.
I mean,
I'm
yeah.
not a halfling, but shout out to the halflings.
Yeah, you're a high elf. You're a pompous little high elf.
Yeah, you know it.
Hey, Seth.
Yeah.
Can you explain the modifiers again real fast? Like
So,
how to figure that out?
You're gonna subtract 10, divide by 2, and you're gonna round down every case scenario. So 18, if you have an 18, subtract 10, divide by 2, +4. And
Yes,
of course, you
sir.
use that link that Katie sent in the chat as well.
Okay.
I got a halfling cleric, a halfling warlock, and a halfling bard. I also have an idea for another halfling warlock with different patron. Yeah, I actually love playing Hexblade warlock a lot myself. I made a character recently about a Hexblade warlock. She was. But yeah, once you guys have all those numbers done, tell me what you got. That way I can confirm what you got or not. All right. Make sure I'll double check I'm with you. Yeah, 4 to 5 is -3. That's what I thought. All right, who's got it done?
Not yet.
Not yet. All right. I get to try Hexblade Warlock, but I want to keep that for a smaller campaign. Not much for a melee player. That's valid. Hexblade Warlock is kind of wild because I had this whole thing where I had a teleportation Hexblade Warlock who just kind of went one area, just kind of like boom, 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 left, boom, 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 boom. It was a lot of fun. Thank you very much, Aiden. Yeah.
If I have a 1.5, do I round it down, you said?
Yes, to 1.
Okay.
So 12 and a 13 will be 1. A 10 and 11 will be 0.
All good.
All right, Enki, tell me what you got for strength.
+1.
Well, give me the number. Give me both numbers so I could just confirm.
Okay, so I have 12, so +1.
Awesome.
Dexterity is 18 +4.
Yep.
Constitution is 13 +1.
Yes.
Intelligence 11 0.
Yep.
Wisdom 14 +2.
Yep.
Charisma 9 -1.
Perfect. Fantastic job, Enki. Now, Enki, what I'm going to have you do, you see that area that says saving throws?
Yes.
Put all those numbers in strength, dexterity, etc. So if your modifier for strength is -1, put that in -1 strength as an example, right?
Gotcha. Okay.
So
So
put
put
it
the
all in there.
modifier in there.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Anyone else have it done?
I do.
All right, talk to me. What have you got?
All right, I got 16 in strength, so I have a +3.
Awesome.
Dexterity +13 and +1.
Yes.
Okay. Constitution +14 and +2.
Yes.
Intelligence +12 and +1.
Yes.
Wisdom +8 and -1.
Yes.
Okay. And +14 and +2 for charisma.
Perfect. Awesome. Fill that in at saving throws.
All right.
All right. Katie, you have yours done?
Yeah, for my classes and stuff, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Tell me what your stats are. Normal and modifier.
Oh, sure. So strength 5, which is -3.
Yeah.
Dexterity 16, which is +3.
Yep.
Constitution 14, which is +2.
Mm-hmm.
Intelligence with 8, which is -1.
Yes.
Wisdom 12, which is +1, and charisma 18, which is +4.
Perfect. And Sekhmet.
Okay, so strength I had 7, so -2.
Yep.
And dexterity 15 +2.
Perfect.
Constitution 13 +1.
Awesome.
Intelligence 20 +5.
Wait, you got 20? Right, you had an 18.
Because
God dang. Okay, yep, you got it. That's fine. Now, 20 is the highest you can naturally go with any stat, just so you know. That's the highest you can naturally go, so that's amazing. Good on you.
Wisdom I had 9, so -1.
Yep.
And charisma 11, so 0.
Perfect. All right. Y'all got it perfectly. Fill out those saving throws over here for me, please and thank you.
Okay.
All right. Now we're going to have
You're doing amazing. Thank you.
Oh. Thank you. Okay, good. Because I'm hoping that I'm explaining this relatively simply. It is complex to create your first character.
No, you are. I was so freaking confused first going into this, and the way you've explained everything has been so easy. So thank you.
Thank you. All right. Next, what we're going to do is saving throws, fill in your modifiers, and do me a favor, same thing with your skills. Acrobatics will say dex, put your modifier there. Animal handling will say wisdom, put your modifier there.
Should
Now,
we do backgrounds first? Or...
No, because backgrounds add on to proficiency, so we're going to do that afterwards.
Okay.
I have.
Our mind immediately goes to background because we're min-maxing you and me, Katie, but...
What does min-maxing stand for?
It's when you do you drop off all the stats your character isn't very good at, so they can be the absolute best at what they are good at.
Yeah.
God,
So basically, like, a barbarian, forget anything else. You want it to be a hard hitter. You put every single feature and strength you have into it being a hard hitter.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Without having it be skilled in anything else, basically.
And the reason why I like negative attributes is because it does force you to kind of choose some things. So as an example, with a artificer with a negative wisdom stat, you aren't street smart. It does make you choose how you actually kind of roleplay your character a little bit, which I really appreciate, having a negative stat or two. My character Coyote has a 5 in strength, if I remember correctly, so she's not strong. She can't do that kind of stuff, but she has a very high wisdom, charisma, and intelligence score, which means she's able to really move around the area mentally more so than physically. She also kind of rolled a little BS with her other scores, making them pretty high. So she's a 689-year-old woman who has more health than almost anyone else in the party.
That's
Her
dope.
constitution.
It's fire.
That's not how it's supposed to be. It's not how it's supposed to be. But yeah, so all right, so we got that cool stuff. All right, when everyone is done, tell me. I'm not gonna have you read down everything because I trust you guys to know. You guys know that now, the modifier and the stuff, so you guys know that. I do not need you to read it down. So once everyone's done, you tell me. And we're gonna
I'm
go.
all done.
All done?
Yeah.
All right, everyone, go to your go to your class, and go down to creating your class or whatever. Where are your hit dice? I'm trying to look for your hit dice. Okay, yeah. Go down to class features. We're gonna start here now. When you roll health, you're gonna take the dice there. Like as an example, Barbarian is going to be 1d12 per Barbarian level. We're only starting at level 1 though, so you're gonna go hit points at level 1, 12 plus your Constitution modifier. So as an example, Calamity, what's your Constitution modifier?
The modifier?
Yes.
It's 2.
So 12 plus 2, you have 14 health. Put that 14 health in current hit points. And then put it in hit point maximum. Enki, what would it be for a monk?
Sorry, what am I adding?
Your Constitution modifier.
So do you do your Constitution plus the modifier, or what am I adding it to? Sorry.
All right, yeah. So
The
go to
hit
your
points at first level on the class features.
yes. Hit
Okay,
points
so
plus
mine
Constitution
would be-
modifier.
I'm gonna be 8 plus 1, so 9.
All right, good job there. Fantastic. Segment, what about you?
It's also 8, and then plus the modifier, which is +1, so 9.
Awesome. And Katie?
Hit points. So that's the 8 plus 2 is 10.
Awesome. Put that in hit point maximum in current hit points. You have your hit points now. These are your level 1 hit points. And this is where your modifiers start coming into play. They start editing things a little bit. Continuing going down, I'm going to use Barbarian as the example, primarily because I've been using it as the example so far. Keep taking a look at your class features, and you're going to see another thing. Proficiencies. This is stuff that you are good with. You add your proficiency modifier to it. You can write these down, no issue. But what you're going to want to look at is your saving throws. So, Enki, what are your saving throws?
Strength and dexterity.
You're gonna go to your page. You're gonna click strength and dexterity and add your proficiency bonus to that number you have there. All right.
Sorry, what proficiency bonus?
The one above you.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Strength and dexterity.
Segment, what about you?
Minor Constitution and Intelligence.
So add your proficiency bonus to that. It should be a +2. So go back to your sheet. Click click on Constitution and Intelligence and add a 2 to whatever number you put in there.
Oh, cool.
All right.
3. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Calamity, what about you?
Strength and Constitution.
Add that proficiency bonus.
Is that in the
And-
big number or the little number?
So here's what you're gonna do. So take a look at your sheet again.
Yeah.
Next to those, you're gonna go to the saving throws on the right,
Yeah.
and you're gonna add it to those. So your strength and
okay.
Constitution, you're adding it there.
Gotcha.
And Katie, what about you?
Oh, dexterity and charisma.
Awesome. Now let me tell you quickly what saving throws do, right? As an example, if you have a saving throw that's a strength saving throw, and some guy's trying to grapple you and you want to break out of that grapple, you might have to roll a strength saving throw. If you are under the effects of a spell that charm you, you might have to roll a wisdom saving throw. If you're being poisoned, you might have to roll a constitution saving throw. Those are the kind of things that you're thinking about with those stats, right? So think about this. Strength, how smashed is a pumpkin when you hit it? Dexterity, how well can you carve a pumpkin? Constitution, if you eat a rotten pumpkin, how's your stomach feeling? Intelligence, knowing that a pumpkin's a gourd. Wisdom, knowing that it doesn't really matter, make it a pie. And charisma, intelligence is knowing a tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is knowing a tomato doesn't matter if it's a fruit or not. You put it in a salad like a normal vegetable. And
It's not in
charisma,
a fruit salad.
it's not a fruit salad, exactly. And charisma is selling a fruit smoothie based off tomatoes. That's how you want to think about your stats, right? And that's how you also want to think about your saving throws.
Okay.
Next, after you guys put those in, you're gonna see skills. It might say choose 2, choose 3, etc. Make your choices on these skills. So we'll go right with Enki again. Enki, your monk should have a few skills that will allow you to have proficiency in. Which ones are you choosing?
I liked acrobatics and stealth.
What you can do is you're gonna go back to your skill list. You're gonna click the little box next to it and add your proficiency modifier.
Perfect.
Sekhmet.
Okay. There's a lot to choose from.
There is,
Arcana sounds great.
All right.
And magical.
Arcana is like Arcana is basically like knowing the history of knowing the magics. Like if you see a sigil, you might roll Arcana to know what that sigil does.
Oh, gotcha. So definitely that.
All right.
And then I don't know. There's history, investigation, medicine, nature, perception, or sleight of hand.
They're all good.
They're all good.
Let me put it like this. All right, let's talk. Let me tell you what they mean. Yeah, that way you know exactly what they're going for. Yeah. Some of them are easy to understand. Some of them not so much. So history, obviously. Investigation is like when you're looking for a trap, you're gonna roll investigation. Like if you roll perception, you know there's a trap there. Investigation is finding out how the trap works. Medicine, basically you roll that to make sure people don't die or faint, or you stabilize them. Nature is knowing about nature, how the world works, ecology, that kind of stuff. Perception is knowing generally what's around you and being able to find out when someone sneaks up on you, but you're not getting specifics. Another example, you roll perception and you know there's a draft in the house. You roll investigation, you know which door is causing that draft. And sleight of hand is pickpocketing or magic tricks and stuff like that, right?
Got it. I think I'm gonna go Arcana and Medicine. That sounds interesting. So
Calamity.
where do I put that in?
Oh yeah, go back to your sheet where you see the skills. On the left-hand side, you'll see like these two little dots. Click Arcana and Medicine, and add your proficiency bonus to those rolls.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Calamity.
I did athletics, which it's strength, and then intimidation with my charisma.
All right, let's go. This is a barbarian build for sure.
Love that.
Everything else was wisdom, and I don't have good wisdom.
That's true. What about you, Katie?
Bards can choose 3 proficiencies. I kind of skipped ahead a little bit.
That's fine.
I did my class proficiencies, my race proficiencies, and my background proficiencies. So basically, Corvus is going to be proficient in deception, insight, perception, performance, persuasion, sleight of hand, and stealth.
Awesome. All right, we got you down there. All right, fantastic. All right. Now, if you look at your race, again, sometimes you got to go back and forth. If you look back, let's finish with the classes first real quick, actually. Let's finish with classes. Next, below, you're going to see equipment. Now, as for Barbarian, it says you start with the following equipment in addition to the equipment granted to you in your background. We'll talk about backgrounds in a bit. So, it's giving a Barbarian the example, the offering of the first one, a great axe or any martial melee weapon, 2 hand axes or a simple weapon, an explorer pack, and 4 javelins. So those are your equipments. You're gonna write that under equipment here. You could shorthand it. You can have a little fun. If you need to know what a martial weapon is, D&D Beyond will have that for you. You're able to go to game rules and equipment, and you should be able to take a look at the filters. I think it'll let you choose filter equipment. You should be able to look here, and it'll say like adventuring gear. Like you look up sword, like look sword up. It'll say that great sword is a martial melee weapon, but a short sword is also a martial melee weapon. A simple weapon might be like, let's see if I can search up simple weapon, how that works. Yeah, simple weapon, boomerang, club, crossbow, javelin. These are simple weapons. So you can look up simple weapon and martial weapon up here and make that choice. I'll give you guys a few minutes to make that choices for yourselves, and then we'll move on to the next thing. All right. Yeah, no, there's a lot of options. So Barbarian, you get those choices. For an Artificer, you get to choose between 2 simple weapons, a light crossbow and 20 bolts, studded leather armor or scale mail, and a thief's tool or dungeoneering pack. Oh, and a dungeoneering pack. My bad. I misread that. I don't imagine a monk gets too much. Do they?
A short sword or a simple weapon, a dungeoneer's pack or an explorer's pack, and 10 darts.
Yo, darts. All right.
Yeah, pretty cool.
No, darts are useful. You put poison in there, man. It will do some jazz. God, I've got to be careful with the cursing. I'm not even on the cursing timer. I'm just paranoid.
Any martial melee.
Yeah. Katie, since you're probably done, what did you choose for your bard?
For equipment, I'm still kind of doing some of it, but
Okay.
I could choose between a rapier, a longsword, or any simple weapon. I like the rapier. I'm going to be choosing finesse weapons because my dexterity is high and my strength is not.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to be choosing anything that I know ahead of time.
Yeah.
I want to use ones that go off dexterity and not strength. So I chose a rapier. I think I'm going to go with, I can choose a diplomat's pack or an entertainer's pack. Just looking at what's in them, I think a diplomat's pack is what I'm going to go with.
Okay.
And then I get to choose a lute or any other musical instrument. So I'm just going to choose I'm going to be searching for musical instruments,
All right.
basically.
All right, cool. Fantastic.
I also get leather armor and a dagger. I just get that. So.
Awesome. Cool beans, yo. Cool beans. Loving it. All right. Does anybody want to share with the class?
Trying to find Artisan Tools.
You'll have to look it up online or in a book or what have you to see what exactly it does or what's in it.
Thank you.
Let me double check. Let me go through this as well. Artisan Tools.
I found something on it.
Okay, cool. Where'd you get Artisan Tools from?
In monk class, it says tools. Choose one type of artisan's tools or one musical instrument.
These are proficiencies. So, I forgot to go over those. Oopsies.
Sorry, my bad.
No, you're good. Let me get that. So if you go to equipment and gear, type tool, and you'll find it. You'll find the entire list there.
Okay.
So this could include things like alchemist supplies, bagpipes, bird pipes. I don't know what those are. That's an instrument, of course. Brewer supplies. You don't have these with you. You're just proficient in them. So
Okay, gotcha.
put those in your other proficiencies and languages down here on the left-hand side.
Perfect.
Yeah. That's for everyone. As an example, an artificer will get proficiency in thieves' tools, tinkerer's tools, one other type of artisan tool of your choice. Put those there on the left-hand side. So they are very useful for an artificer. And I believe a barbarian... Does a barbarian get anything for tools? I don't know. A barbarian gets none. Yep. But you can use pretty much a bunch of armors and shields. That being said, you probably don't want to use an actual armor. All right. Who wants to share with their equipment?
I chose a spear.
All right, yeah.
An
We'll start with
explorer's
Frankie.
pack. I chose a spear, an explorer's pack, and then the 10 darts.
Awesome. Sekhmet?
So mine was any 2 simple weapons. So I looked on the page and I picked a spear and a dagger.
Awesome.
Also, fun fact, I have an actual spear.
Yeah.
Yo, really?
That's
It hangs in our
awesome.
front room.
I now fear Sekhmet. I feel like she knows how to use it. I feel like she knows how to use it and is just waiting for the moment.
And then a light crossbow and 20 bolts, and then I got to choose between studded leather armor or scale mail.
Yep.
And I picked scale mail. That sounded interesting.
Okay, cool.
And then I have thieves, tools, and a dungeoneer's pack.
Awesome. Calamity.
Yes. I have. Oh gosh.
Bug on your screen.
I'm a little confused. I've picked out my stuff, but hang on.
Yeah, talk to me.
All right. I was able to do what was it? I could either do a great axe or any martial melee weapon. So I
Yeah.
did a short sword.
Okay.
And I also did a dagger.
All right, that's fine.
Because I could do 2 hand axes or any simple weapon. And so that's
Say
the
again?
2 I picked. It said that I could do 2 hand axes or any simple weapon.
Yes.
I kind of preferred using a dagger. So
All right, yeah. So you have
Yeah.
a sword and a dagger. All right, cool.
yeah. And a javelin apparently in my backpack. I
Yeah,
don't know
4
what the-
javelins in your backpack.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, put those down in your inventory. And here's what we'll do real quick. We're going to go to attacks and spell casting real quick, all right? So let's take the Barbarian short sword as an example, all right? A short sword, let me pull that up real quick. You don't need to do this for everything, at least not right now. Do it for your primary weapon, which you think you're going to be using the most, right? The short sword does 1d6 piercing damage when you're looking at it. All right, so we're going to put a name, sword. Your attack bonus is going to be your strength modifier plus your proficiency bonus, right? So what's your strength modifier?
3.
And what's your proficiency bonus?
2.
So you put that together, you got +5.
Okay.
And the damage is going to be 1d6 plus your strength modifier. And what's that?
My strength modifier is 3.
Awesome. Great. Good job. That's how you fill out your sword. You do 1d6 plus 3 damage on your attacks. You get +5. Mwah. Beautiful. Enki, you have a spear. Can you tell me how that's going to work?
So it looks like a spear. The damage is 1d6 piercing.
All right.
My strength modifier is +3, so that's my attack bonus.
Right.
Then that was with the proficiency bonus, sorry.
Yep.
And then the strength modifier is just +1, so it'll be 1d6 +1 in the damage.
All right. Cool.
And
Now,
then do I put /type in there? Like /piercing?
if you want to, yes. You can put like an S or a P.
Okay.
Now, here's the cool thing about spear. Take a look at this property right here, versatile. If
Yeah,
you're
I
using
see
it with
that.
2 hands, it could be a 1d8.
Oh, okay.
So you might want to put a 1d6/1d8 +3 just for your own sake. You know what I'm saying?
Love that.
Sekhmet, what about you?
Okay, so I'm trying to figure it out. The math overwhelms my brain, so I'm
No worries.
moving
That's why
quite
we're
slow.
going.
Sorry.
That's why we're going through it one by one.
Okay, so I was trying to follow along because I also had picked a spear.
Yep.
So my strength modifier is -2.
Oh
and
no.
My proficiency is +2.
Yep. So that's gonna be a 0.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the damage is 1d6 piercing.
Yes. And then it's gonna be a -2 for your strength. Now let's talk.
I put -2 there.
Yep, a 1d6 -2 because of your strength modifier.
Oh, gotcha.
Now let's talk real quick about your dagger. So we're gonna
Okay.
actually do your dagger real quick. So put your dagger down below, and I want you to
Gotcha.
open up the dagger as well. So let's open up the dagger sheet so you know what's up with that.
Gotcha. Okay,
So if you have
Alright.
you have the dagger open.
I do.
Look, read finesse for me.
Finesse. Okay. When making an attack with a finesse weapon, you use your choice of strength or dexterity modifier for the attack and damage rolls. You
There
must
we
use
go.
the same modifier for both rolls. Oh,
So
okay.
this might be a really good option for you as well. So let's have the dagger. What's your dexterity modifier?
+2.
Plus your proficiency?
+2, so 4.
Yep. Put that in attack bonus, +4.
Got it.
How much damage does the dagger do?
1d4 piercing.
Yep.
As well?
And your dexterity modifier, 1d4.
Or, sorry, what did you say? My proficiency?
Your dexterity modifier. Your proficiency is not added into your damage.
Right. It's +2.
So it's 1d4 plus 2.
Nice. Ooh.
So you kind of see how you can build that. If you have a finesse weapon, you can actually use your dexterity for that, right?
That's so cool.
Enki, you have an unarmed strike, right?
Yeah, I think so.
As a monk, you have an unarmed strike, so you can also add that in there. Do me a favor, make one for your unarmed strike, and I'll help you make that as well. So if we look at your class features, and you're creating, creating a monk, your martial arts, when you attack someone, you get 1d4 damage. It's gonna be bludgeoning damage, but it's still lethal because you're a monk, right?
Yeah.
All right. Now, 1d4 damage. You could use your dexterity if you want to, or you can use your strength. Which do you want to use for it?
Definitely dexterity.
So fill it out. 1d4. So tell me what. So you have unarmed strike. What's your attack bonus?
My attack bonus would be my dexterity plus the proficiency bonus, correct?
Yes.
So that's +6.
Yo, that's good. It's really accurate.
And then the damage would be 1d4 plus 4 for my dexterity.
Yo, your unarmed strike's gonna be your big damage dealer, my dude. I'm gonna tell you that right off the bat.
Yeah, and I was looking up dart. It's also a finesse weapon, so it's the same for those two.
There we go. Enki, you're getting it. Calamity, are you understanding it?
Let's go.
I'm not entirely, honestly.
Okay,
I'm a little lost.
Which weapons do you have again?
I have short sword,
Yep.
dagger, and 4 javelins.
All right, let's start with the dagger with you. All right. Let's put the dagger in here. Now, dagger, you use strength or dexterity to use it. What do you want to use?
I kind of wrote down the strength already because it's my higher
Awesome.
one.
So you're going to take your strength modifier and your proficiency modifier and add them together for your attack bonus. What's that?
5.
Awesome. And how much damage does the dagger do?
It's a 1d4 plus. I put down +3 because my strength is 3. So
You got it.
all right, cool.
Yeah, you got it. Javelins are the same thing. If you do a ranged attack with a javelin, you will have to use your dexterity. But if you're just stabbing someone with your javelin, it's strength.
Okay.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay, I think I got it.
Segment, how about you? Do you got it?
I think I do.
Katie, give us an example of your weapons.
Sure. So I have a rapier. So my dexterity is +3, and my proficiency bonus is +2. So the attack bonus is +5, and the damage is 1d8 +3. And then for the dagger, I'm proficient in simple weapons, so that's again +5, and then 1d4 +3.
Fantastic. All right. Cool. So we got your weapons filled out. We got some of your proficiencies filled out. That is, let me see if there's anything else for the classes we need to be aware of. I'm going to use Barbarian as my thing. We're only staying at level 1, so we don't need to know about anything about level 2 yet or level 3. Ignore that for now. Creating Barbarian. Let's see what else. You've written down your rage information, Calamity?
I saw it. I didn't know where to write it down. So
Write it under features on the right hand side, in my opinion. Just give yourself a basic thing. If you want to say rage, look at website. That's also fine. That's what I do all the time.
Oh, I did
Uh,
write it down. I said bonus action. That's all I wrote down. So
Rage,
I could
bonus
do
action,
it.
and 2 times a day. You get it 2 times a day. So you'll see that up here on the Barbarian table. You get 2 times a day, and your damage is +2. You may want to put that information down. But as long as you say, hey, bonus action, look at table and website, as long as you know, you're good.
Wait, 2 times a day, and then what else did you say? Sorry.
+2 damage.
Okay.
Sorry, if I'm speaking fast, do tell me.
No, it's okay.
You wrote everything down for magical tinkering, or at least wrote the basics down for magical tinkering, Sekhmet?
Yes, I've made notes to also reference the website again.
That's what I do. I reference the website continuously when I'm playing D&D. You, Enki, unarmed stuff?
Yes. Yes.
All right. We are almost done, guys. I promise you. We are almost done. Let's go back to our races. Everyone go back to your race. Take a look at your traits. Now, the cool thing about your traits, as you continue going on, you're going to see one size. Most of you guys are going to be medium. I think Gnome might be a small. So fill in your size. Actually, there's no size thing. That's fine.
You just have to know it.
Just know it, yeah. What is everyone's size? Tell me.
Medium.
I'm small.
It's small.
Medium.
Small.
Oh, halflings are small too? Okay, I didn't know that. All right, cool.
Yeah, they're 3 feet tall.
Fair enough. All right, what are your base walking speeds? You should be able to see that right under size.
30 feet.
25 feet.
Sekhmet?
I do not see that.
Okay.
I see that my dark vision has a radius of 120 feet.
Here, let me go to your
It should be
race.
right above that segment. It says speed. That's where it is on mine, at least.
You're going for a gnome,
Oh, I found
right?
it. Yep. Yeah, I see it. 25 feet.
All right, there's a speed thing. Fill it in there. Right here, there's a speed thing. Fill it right on in here.
Is it always feet or?
It's always feet.
Okay.
Sorry, Canadian.
Ripping Canadian. All right. Initiative is going to be a dexterity modifier. So just put that in there real quick. All right. And this is where the fun part comes in. Armor class. Armor class is going to be based upon your stats and your armor. So, as an example, who has armor here?
I have armor. I have leather armor, which means I don't get to add my stats.
All right. Who else has armor?
I have scale mail?
Awesome. So, open up Scale Mail for me on your website.
Gotcha. Okay.
And read out the bit that says armor class underneath it to me.
It says 14 plus dex modifier, max 2.
Exactly. So, for your armor class, 14, what's your dexterity modifier?
Plus 2.
So you have an armor class of 16.
Oh, nice.
That's not half bad, honestly. Now, here's the thing. What does it say under stealth?
Disadvantage.
Write that down under features for me, please and thank you. At least as long as you're wearing that armor, you'll have a disadvantage on stealth. You have big clanky metal stuff.
Ooh,
You
gotcha.
can take it off, but then you're at the mercy of... Actually, I should probably not wear my leather armor because I think my dexterity would be higher without it.
Take a look. Anyways, let's go on to Barbarian. Hey, you have a calamity. You have something called Unarmored Defense. Can you read that out for me real quick?
Yeah, let me get to it.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
While you are not wearing any armor, your armor class equals 10 plus your dexterity modifier plus your constitution modifier.
Add those up for me, please.
Okay. I need my calculator. So it's 10 plus 2 plus 14.
That's not half bad. Now, here's the thing. As a barbarian, you can use medium armors. I don't think you have any right now. But
No, I don't.
But you can. So later on, if you want to buy an armor for a little while to give yourself a higher AC, you can. You will lose the benefit of unarmored defense, which is the Constitution modifier being added in. But right now, you have a Constitution modifier of +2. It's not exceptionally great. So in the future, you might want to consider armor, but we'll get to that in the future. All right.
Also, side note, I was wrong. I do add my dex modifier to leather armor. My bad.
And last but not least, let's go say hi to our monk friend. You're unarmored defense. Can you read that for me, Yankee?
Yeah, it's 10 plus dexterity plus wisdom.
Do that for me.
16.
That's a good AC.
It really is.
To put that on there. All right. Now, what AC is armor class. It's how often you get hit. It's how often you could dodge. It's whether or not you take damage. So, as an example, you have an AC of 16. If I roll to hit and I get a 15, you do not get hit. You dodge out of the way. You block it. Any flourish you want. You Aikido it. Go for it. You know what I'm saying? You do not get hit. That being said, a 16 on scale mail might be more along the lines of the sword hits you but doesn't go through the armor. That's DM flourishing stuff when it comes to the story. But that's what AC means. It's how easy you are to hit or really to damage. So I'm just going to put in some random numbers here to say I'm filling it out with you guys. All right. Back to your races. Sorry, I kind of diverged there. Below speed, you'll have things like dark vision. Write those down. Just make a note about it. Say, read the website if you want. But as an example, dark vision. Accustomed to a twilight forest in the night sky, you have superior vision in the dark and dim conditions. You can see in dim light within 60 feet of you as if it were bright light, and in darkness as if it was dim light. You cannot discern colors in darkness, only shades of gray. Those are some things that you want to know. So as an example, an elf is going to have an easier time in the dark, while I believe it is our rock gnome is going to have 120 feet of dark vision, if I remember correctly.
I think so, yeah.
Ooh, that's good. So just write down dark vision and be like 60 feet dark vision, you know, something like that. That's how I do it. And then refer to website or whatever. Keen senses for elf. You have proficiency in perception. Give yourself a free perception proficiency. When it comes to gnomes, see if you have anything like that as well. I'm gonna go to gnomes and check real quick as well.
When you say give yourself a free perception proficiency, does that mean add 1 to perception, or?
So you remember what you did when you clicked the button on the right and added your proficiency bonus?
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, I see.
So Gnome Traits. As a gnome, you're a size of small. You got dark vision. You have cunning. You have advantage on intelligence, wisdom, and God damn.
Damn.
That's good. Write that down as a side thing. Advantage and disadvantage we'll talk about in the future. And of course, you have your languages. If you can speak more than one language, write those down as well. For rock gnomes, take a look at here. Okay, yeah. You have Artificer's Lore as a rock gnome. Whenever you make an intelligence history roll, you get a proficiency bonus when it comes to magic items and objects. And you have Tinkerer. Take a look at that when you have the time. It's a little bit thicker. Feel free to write down just, hey, look at it later on, and you should be good.
Gotcha.
For races, when it comes to halflings... And yeah, we'll go past our 8 p.m. time because I want to make sure you guys at least make your first full character.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
No, my pleasure. Are you kidding me? This is so much fun for me.
I'm having a blast too. I really like this. I'm excited to play.
Yeah. As I said, if you guys want to go on this, I will do a game about once a month. And
So down.
I'm totally down, honestly.
Hell yeah. I'm glad because the thing is, a lot of times character creation is extremely intimidating and people immediately get turned off by D&D because of it. And that's valid. But if you guys are still excited, I'm excited too. You're a Lightfoot halfling, right?
Yeah.
So you have a bonus to your charisma, and of course you can hide Even when you're obscured by only a creature that's at least one size large, you get to hide behind people. You're just like, hey, monk guy, I'm hiding behind you real quick, buddy. That's your bonus. You also have the lucky.
Oh yeah, halfling's luck. You usually get that, don't you?
Yep, you get that. When you roll a 1 on D20 roll for an attack, you can re-roll ones, basically. It's great.
Yeah.
Let's roll. Brave, you have advantage on saving throws against being frightened. You can move through spaces of any creature that's a size larger than you, so you could literally run between the legs of your elven monk friend.
That's what I'm here for.
Like a toddler.
Here's the funny thing. I see this monk kind of like boom, boom, punching someone and pushing them back a little bit with their ki, and then this gnome barbarian just like boom with a sword right on. That's the kind of
I'm over here.
That's the kind of BS you could pull with that halfling nimbleness. Sorry, halfling barbarian. It's so much fun.
Oh my gosh.
And you can speak and write common and halfling.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so much fun. It's ridiculous. All right. What you guys have the basics of that down, tell me. What I'm going to actually do is use the restroom real quick. Katie, if you have any questions, you're it, homie.
Yeah, for sure, Z's. If you ask me anything, y'all, I'll find the answer eventually.
Well, I was looking at the armor stuff again because I got very overwhelmed. And I noticed that the snail mail is 45 pounds. And then I noticed that gnomes are 40 pounds.
So this is gonna be your strength. Like normally, like what you're allowed to carry depends on your strength and a bunch of stuff. But this actually is kind of a question for Steph because all this. If it was me, I'd just be like, that stuff doesn't the weight. Because normally we don't do weight calculations in our sessions, because you do have like a maximum weight you can carry and a bunch of stuff. Usually he doesn't enforce that. So I've never calculated it myself.
Gotcha. Because I was looking, because that's the one where I had the choice between the studded leather armor or the scale mail, and I just looked at like the descriptions and was like, "Oh, scale mail sounds like fun and cool." And then, like later on, my eyes drifted to the weight, and I was like, "Ooh."
Yeah, do actually ask Steph about the weight when he gets back, because that is a DM question more. I feel.
I don't care about encumbrance too much, so you'll be fine.
All right.
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
So like I said, I have a feeling we'll be ignoring weight.
More or less. It's more along the lines of realism. Like, you might have 4 javelins, but you're not going to be holding 4 javelins.
Right. Gotcha.
You are.
It's going good, Captain Mordog. Thank you very much for asking. We're still making some characters, and it's still going well. All right. One of the last things so we did everything for your race, we did everything for your class. Now I'm going to need everyone to go back to D&D Beyond and go to backgrounds under game rules. There's a bunch of backgrounds here that give you bonuses to everything you've done. And this is kind of the bonus thing. So you guys remember how you added in proficiencies?
Yeah.
Where where your class said, hey, take 2 of these skills and they are now your proficient skills? Backgrounds are going to say something very similar. As an example, Anthropologist is going to give you a proficiency in insight and religion. Now, you're going to want to basically look for basic rules. So as an example, Acolyte is going to give you proficiencies to insight and religion. It allows you to learn 2 languages for free. And it gives you a holy symbol that you get from priesthood. A prayer book, 5 sticks of incense, a vestment, and common clothes, and a pouch containing 15 gold pieces. So look for something that says basic rules or player's handbook or basic rules. And source category, source. Select source, go to basic rules. and search those up and choose one of those backgrounds. So acolyte, criminal spy, folk hero, noble, sage, or soldier. Now, Katie, you've done this before. You can choose any background you want that you have access to.
Yeah, I actually kind of already filled it out.
Fantastic.
So I can go over that if you want to fill dead space while people are thinking.
Go for it.
So I chose the charlatan background, which I listed my skills and proficiencies, but here's where I get the deception and sleight of hand. He's also proficient with disguise kits, even though he personally doesn't need it, and forgery kits. And he gets a set of fine clothes, a disguise kit, and then he gets to choose a couple of tools. I chose a deck of marked cards. And he has 15 gold pieces to start with.
Okay.
And he has a favorite scheme, and I put on new identities like clothes. And he has a feature called false identity. And it says, I've created a second identity that includes documentation, established acquaintances, and disguises that allow me to assume that persona. And I can also forge documents, including official papers and personal letters, as long as I've seen an example of the type of document or the handwriting I'm trying to copy.
Okay, Batman.
Batman?
Two personas. Batman has a
Batman forged document.
He has a bat credit card. He has to forge.
I thought he just embezzled money.
No, in the Batman and Robin movie from the 90s, he has a bat credit card. He has to have a Batman social security for that.
He has a bat everything, though, depending on like the old, what is it, 1960s Batman.
Yeah. He has a bat cow.
He has bat spray, the anti-shark bat, or the bat repellent, whatever it is.
I love the fact that he has the bat credit card, which is amazing. Because in order to open a credit card, you need a social security number. He has a bat social security number. Batman is his own separate legal citizen in Gotham.
Yeah, I think Corvus pretends to be a noble sometimes.
Okay.
Because it says that he has fine clothes. Like, he has, based on his bard and his charlatan background, he now has 2 sets of fine clothes.
Nice.
So I think he likes to slip into a noble persona sometimes.
Fair enough. Enki, speaking of noble.
Speaking of noble, that is the background I've chosen for mine because it fit perfectly with my backstory.
Fantastic. So tell me what you got.
Skill proficiencies in history and persuasion.
So you're gonna click the little buttons in history and persuasion, and you're gonna add your proficiency modifier to those. What's your proficiency modifier?
+2.
Awesome. What else?
Cool. And tool proficiencies, one type of gaming set. So
what'd you choose?
I was about to look that one up, actually.
Sounds good.
Same thing with languages, one of your choice. So need to decide on that.
All right.
Then the equipment, a set of fine clothes, a signet ring, a scroll of pedigree, and a purse containing 25 gold pieces.
Now, what a signet ring is, it's a ring with your house crest or job or whatever on it. So as an example, if there's a crest of the royal family, you would have a ring with the crest on it, right? Okay. Usually you use it to stamp kind of your mail with the wax seals.
Gotcha.
You could also have one that's like a job-based one. Like if you are if your family was from like a duke's secretary or whatever, you might have a signet ring that relates to the duke or to your job with the duke. It depends on how you want to flavor that. What about your feature? What's all that about?
Position of privilege. Thanks to your noble birth, people are inclined to think the best of you. You are welcome in high society, and people assume you have the right to be wherever you are. The common folk make every effort to accommodate you and avoid your displeasure, and other people of high birth treat you as a member of the same social sphere. You can secure an audience with a local noble if you need to.
Fantastic stuff. Now, the characteristics, we've already kind of blew past those. So I like you guys making your own for those. But yeah, good job with that. Tell me what you have when you get your gaming and your languages. Does anybody else have a background they're ready to share?
I do. I
Go
think
for
I'm
it.
gonna go with the sage.
All right, tell me about it.
Okay, so it said you spent years of learning lore of the multiverse, and that just sucked me in. And
Mhm.
studying manuscripts and scrolls. Um, skill proficiencies are Arcana and History.
Now I do
And
know you
languages?
chose. Now I'm gonna real quick. I do know you chose Arcana
Yeah.
for one of your past ones from your class.
Oh, I did.
What I allow you to
That's
do
right.
is to now go back to your class and choose another one, since you already have Arcana from your background. So go back to your Artificer class.
Okay.
So taking out the ones you've chosen, which were medicine, and the one that you got from your background, which is Arcana and History, you now have Investigation, Nature, Perception, or Sleight of Hand.
Sorry, I'm having a hard time finding that.
No worries. It should be under class
what
features.
is class feature. Okay.
Quick question. I'm looking
Yeah.
for gaming sets and like the equipment. Is there something I can type
Ooh.
to show those?
Good
'Cause
question.
gaming-
I think it's
gaming
also
did not-
Tool. I think it might
Tool?
also be Tool, yeah. Yeah, it's under Tool. So Tool will go to like playing card set and so on and so forth. So there's dice set as an example, which is one. Dragon chess. I don't know what a Duclimir is. You can look it up.
So are they the social ones? Let's say social over on the notes.
Yeah,
Or
that's a good. Yeah,
Okay.
probably. Yeah.
thank you.
My pleasure. Hey guys, even I as DM don't know everything, so yeah. Yeah, if it says social, that's a good way of looking at it. Yep, social. 3 dragon anti set. What is that? That's cool.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah. So, Sekma, did you find
Okay.
your?
Yes, I did. So swap out like perception for Arcana since.
All right. Yeah, sounds good. Mark down perception for your class then, and add your proficiency bonus, which is what?
2.
There we go.
Ooh.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right.
And then subtract it from the Arcana one on that list.
No, because you got Arcana from your background, so you still have Arcana.
Oh, right. Okay.
As a
Gotcha.
sage, you still have Arcana. So we basically made sure you didn't double dip.
Got it.
Mm-hmm. All right. And then what's the other thing for your proficiency with Sage?
History.
There we go. Add that proficiency bonus to Sage as well. To your character as well.
Gotcha. Sweet.
Where can I find a list of languages?
That's a good question. That I do not know. Let me see.
Would it just be like, does each race have a language?
That is true. Yes. So.
Okay.
Yeah, it's usually, you might get some in your background, but it's usually under your race features. Else, like, for example, as a changeling, I speak Common and 2 others, which I decided probably Elvish and Sylvan.
I'm trying to
Do you
find.
know where I could find a list of languages?
Yes. So go on to. Oh, it's in the player's handbook and it's tied. Google.
Google. Perfect.
Google
Easy.
D&D 5e
Easy.
languages. There we go. It's not on D&D Beyond right now, so. Calamity, what about you? Oh wait, sorry. I haven't finished going through a segment. My apologies. All right, segment languages. 2 of your choices. I'm assuming you haven't
Yeah.
I'm assuming you haven't read the language list yet.
I have not read them.
No worries. We'll get to that later. What about your equipment? Tell me what you got.
I have a bottle of black ink, a quill, a small knife, a letter from a dead colleague posing a question you have not yet been able to answer,
Yep.
a set of common clothes, and a pouch containing 10 GP.
Gold
So that's
pieces.
it.
So if you go down below attacks and spell casting, you're going to see kind of your equipment area. On the left, you'll see CP, SP, EP, GP, etc. Fill that in with your 10 gold pieces or your 15 or whatever you got.
Oh, okay.
All right. Now, to determine the nature of your scholarly training, which one are you, I'm not going to make you roll for it. Which one do you want?
I was leaning toward Wizard's Apprentice.
All right, go for it. Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all it does. It just gives you a little bit of a background, yeah. It just fluffs out your background a little bit, yeah.
And then my feature is a researcher.
Mm-hmm. Read it out for me.
When you attempt to learn or recall a piece of lore, if you do not know that information, you often know where and from whom you can obtain it. Usually this information comes from a library,
Scriptorium, yeah.
Scriptorium, university, or a sage or other learned person or creature. Your DM might rule that the knowledge you seek is secreted away in an almost inaccessible place, or that it simply cannot be found. Unearthing the deepest secrets of the multiverse can require an adventure or even a whole campaign.
There we go. So you got the basics of it. Once Enki gets the language list up, read it over the languages and choose two, all right?
Gotcha.
Last but not least, Calamity.
I think I'm leaning towards the folk hero.
All right, tell me about it. What's your skill proficiencies with that?
Animal handling and survival.
All right, put that little...
They're both wisdom, which I have a negative in. So.
Yep. Put that little dot there and add your proficiency modifier. What's your proficiency modifier?
For wisdom, -1.
No, proficiency. Proficiency modifier. That's your...
Oh, proficiency, 2.
There you go. So -1 plus 2 is...
1.
There we go.
And then the survival is the same one, so it's 1.
Awesome.
Okay. Yeah.
So 2 proficiencies, 1 type of artisan tool, and land vehicles. So you could actually roll on a motorbike. No, you could drive a horse and carriage. You know, that's something that you get. But what type of artisan tools do you know that you want to choose, or do you not know yet?
I think I kind of like leaning towards the smith's tools.
All right,
like the blacksmiths. So sticking with my long sword and my daggers and everything like that.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Did you choose a long sword or a short sword?
Short sword, probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because long swords are still one-handed weapons. They do a little bit more damage, but it's up to you. I'm not gonna yum your yucks. You know what I'm saying?
I was debating between which one or the other, so I might switch it up.
Okay, fair enough. If you switch it up, just tell me in the future. All right.
Okay.
Your equipment. What do you get?
Whoa! What just happened?
I don't know.
Oh, sorry. There's Smith's tools. Oh, equipment. What am I talking? Equipment. Set of artisan tools. One of your choice.
Which one are you choosing?
Smith's tools.
There you go.
There's a shovel, an iron pot, a set of common clothes, and a pouch containing 10 GP.
All right, so put that 10 GP in your pouch.
All right.
Now, defining event, you could use one of these if you want. If you don't want to, you don't need to. But tell me what you would have chosen for your defining event. You previously pursued a simple profession among the peasantry, perhaps as a farmer, yada, yada, yada. Something happened to you that set you on a different path. You are a folk hero now. What set you on that path?
I don't know, that just earning desire, or that like feeling that there's something more out there, that I didn't want to be stuck in the same old ways as my father, as he was with his father, and he was.
There is a table if you want to use it too. That's what I'm saying. If you don't want to use it, that's fine. But yeah, if that's what if that's what really like does that, and you want to better yourself, and you show that to your village, that's how you become your folk hero. Go for it, 100%.
Okay.
All right, and what does rustic hospitality do for you?
Rustic hospitality. Covering the ranks of common folk, you fit in among. Well, I've got to read this now.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Basically, it sounds like either I can relax, I can kind of yeah, I can relax. I can kind of rest up anywhere I can be.
Yeah.
And it seems like this. I'm not, unless I show that I'm absolutely and utterly feral and try to attack the host, I
Yep.
seem to be a fairly enjoyable person. They're like, yeah, sure, you can sleep under the table. It's fine.
Exactly. Yes. The common folk love you. Ironically, we have the noble and the common folk, which I do quite appreciate this dynamic we're gonna have here. Does anybody have questions on their backgrounds?
Suggested characteristics. Do I have to fill this out too, right? Or
Which ones?
the suggested characteristics?
You don't have to. This is the part where I say you choose what you do. That's what your characters and flaws and stuff are. For first time people, typically this is what a lot of them will use, but I believe in all of you and your storytelling abilities, especially Sekhmet, and through Sekhmet, especially Anki. So,
True.
so and Calamity, I just believe in you.
Okay.
Oh,
So yeah, that's kind of what we're going with that. What else have we not done? Trying to think now. Oh, hit dice.
spells and such. If people have spells.
All right, we'll get to that in a second. Hit dice. You're level 1. You're gonna have 1 hit dice. That'll be next to you. That'll be under your hit points and above your attacks and spell casting, by the way. And your hit dice is your hit points. So it's 1d8 for monk. Is it 1d8 or 1d10? Let me double check that. It's 1d12 for barbarians, though. That I do know. For a monk.
Hit dice is 1d8 per monk level.
Yep, so you get your hit dice is 1d8. You have 1 hit dice. So on your thing, go total 1 hit dice, 1d8.
Cool.
Nice and easy. For and I think the same thing with Artificer too. 1d8 hit dice. So it's 1 plus 1d8.
Yeah.
Barbarian 1d12, and you're good. Okay, that should be legitimately everything on that first page. That wasn't too bad, was it, y'all?
Wait, did you cover passive wisdom? I forget.
Ooh, passive wisdom. 10 plus your perception plus perception. So
Plus
10
proficiency if you're proficient in perception.
So as an example, Sekhmet, tell me what your perception skill is.
1.
So 10 plus 1 is
11.
Calamity. What's your perception skill?
I'm so sorry.
What's your perception skill?
Perception skill. Oh, I'm an idiot.
No, you're good.
I don't know where I'm looking at right now. I'm a little lost.
So go to your first page on your sheet. On the left side, you're gonna see skills.
Uh-huh.
Where's perceptions under nature? So it goes alphabetically.
Oh, okay. Is wisdom?
It's wisdom.
It would be -1.
So passive perception is 10 minus 1, which is
9.
Anki, tell me.
Mine's +4, so 14.
Nice, Katie.
1 plus proficiency bonus, so 13.
There we go. Yeah, so we have basically the whole first page filled out. For anyone, go on.
So there's 2 at the top, inspiration and initiative.
Initiative is going to be your dexterity modifier. So whatever's under your dexterity modifier. Initiative is basically like how quickly you get into battle.
Okay.
Once the battle starts, your initiative. Bam, go. What's happening?
So it's just the dexterity modifier?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll add it to what you roll.
Mm-hmm. Your inspiration is DM discretion. Basically, if you do something really cool, you roleplay really cool, I give you a point of inspiration. You can use that to make your rolls better.
Wonderful.
So that's 0 for right now, or just empty. Now, of course, fill out your background in the top right-hand corner as well. And when it says experience points, put milestone. Because I don't do experience points, I'm lazy. Last thing is, if you want to do the second page, you could put characters you could put character appearance, allies, organizations, additional feats and traits. This is all stuff to use for later. Second page is typically for fleshing out your character as a backstory, writing down a little bit about your character here and there, maybe some notes from the campaign, etc. Putting a cool picture of your character if you want to on character appearance. And of course, adding their age, height, weight, eye, skin, and hair color. Go for that. And of course, if you have any preferred pronouns for your characters, also put that in there as well. Yeah, under their name, I would put it personally. All right. Third page. Who's a spellcaster here?
Me.
I think I am too.
Yes, you are. All right. So we're going to go for the artificers. This is the, hey guys, good news. If you're not a spellcaster, your character sheet's done.
Oh, okay.
Your character sheet's done. Make sure you have all your skills filled out with the modifier appropriate and the proficiencies. But other than that, your character sheet's done. And we'll talk about it in a minute, all right? Artificer, let's have a little bit of fun. So Artificer, I want you to go back to your Artificer table. All right? So Sekhmet, can you do me a favor? Tell me how many cantrips do you know?
2.
Fantastic. Can you tell me how many first level spell slots you have? That should be to the right of cantrips.
It's
So
past spell zone.
I don't see a table. On my end, it just has them like all listed.
Do you have the wiki dot open?
Yeah. Oh wait, is this it? Okay, I think I found it. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, it's on the top part. The table's on the top part.
Gotcha.
Let's scroll down from that.
So I have 2.
Yes. Awesome. Go to your spell sheet on the third page, and when you see spell level 1, put 2 slots total.
Oh gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
All right. Okay. On D&D Beyond, go to your game rules and go to spells, and then click Artificer spells.
Okay. Ooh,
All right. So you have a list of spells in front of you?
I do.
Now, you could choose 2 cantrips. Cantrips are really cool because you could cast these at any time, whenever. Back in the old days, you only got a few, you only got like really weak cantrips, but these cantrips in D&D 5e are actually really strong. You can cast them whenever. That way, all your powerful spells you can save. So there's 2 cantrips you get to choose. You can read a few of these. So some of them, like Guidance as an example, they are a buff to your friends, right? I'm going to put myself under lurk for a little while, but don't come back. Thank you very much, Research. I hope you're having a fantastic time, and I hope you're enjoying your day amazingly. If a Guidance as an example is a thing that will buff you. Green Flame Blade, you can't read it because it's under something else. But hey, I'm not going to tell anyone if you look it up elsewhere. Booming Blade, okay, guess not. Acid Splash, you hurl a bubble of acid, you know what I'm saying? There's some options that you have to go for. So which ones sound interesting to you? You get 2 of them.
Honestly, the Guidance sounds just like a good one to have.
All right, so under your cantrips, write Guidance. I thought it was like can't go wrong. Some good old acid. I don't disagree. I use Acid Splash once in a while too. And
Yeah, that one.
now there are other ones too, like Light, Mage Hand, Magic Stone. There's quite a few of them. So don't be afraid to look a little bit. And a Poison Spray is another one.
Ooh, dang.
Yeah, Ray of Frost. I use Ray of Frost with COD a lot.
Oh, there's so many.
There are quite a few. What kind of spells do you think your character would use? That's the question.
See, I was just trying to think about that and trying to picture them. And
Yeah.
like, what would they be going for? When I thought when I was first thinking about the character before we got into all of this, I was thinking very like I was picturing like, I don't know, very elemental
Okay.
sort of. So like using the earth, I guess, is what I was first looking at, or first thinking at before we ever like got into any of this. I was just trying to make sense of what I was looking at.
I'm gonna tell you the truth. D&D 5e did earth spells dirty, and I'm so sad about it.
Oh no!
They have like one earth spell, really. That's about it, and it's really depressing.
Oh no!
Oh god, Pathfinder had a lot, which I enjoyed, but D&D 5e does not have too many. That being said, there are some, like, once again, Acid Splash, Firebolt, Light, Magic Stone, which is an earth spell as well. But
Yeah, that's what where was it? Lightning one. I did have it.
I don't know would you only add +1. Like, it has like, there's like move earth and there's like magic, so there's very few earth spells, and that's really depressing.
Yeah, that'd be so cool.
I know. The Pathfinder actually had a whole like Avatar: The Last Airbender class, which is pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie.
Ooh, hey. I think I'm gonna go for Poison Spray.
Ooh, okay. What does Poison Spray do?
You extend your hand towards a creature you see within range and project a puff of noxious gas from your palm. The creature must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or take a 1d12 poison damage.
Awesome.
The spells.
Oh, continue.
Oh, that's all the tech. I was just reading the spell's damage increases by a 1d12 when you reach the 5th level.
Yes. Okay. So write down Poison Spray under your cantrips. Now go back to your Artificer class page, and we're going to go down to spell casting. And when you're ready, you tell me.
So listening to you guys say this,
do you want to play a spellcaster now?
No, I was just reading High Elves know one cantrip.
Give yourself a cantrip.
Cool.
Oh yeah, and they also have...
Yeah, from the wizard list. So go to the wizard list to give yourself a cantrip from there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I found it. The spellcasting ability.
Yeah, are you back on your Artificer page? Just your class page?
Yeah.
All right, spellcasting. You study the workings of magic, yada yada. Anyways, whenever you cast a spell, you will need your tools, like your thieves' tools that you do get. Cantrips, 2 cantrips. You will eventually learn more. What we want to go is we want to look at 2 things. One, we want to look at preparing and casting spells. So I don't want to read it out to you because that's not going to help you understand it. Can you read it out to me?
Yeah. The artificial table shows how many spell slots you have to cast your artificer spells. To cast one of your artificer spells of 1st level or higher, you must expend a slot of the spell's higher. Sorry.
No, you're good.
The spell's level or higher. You regain all expended spell slots when you finish a long rest.
Now, all that basically means is that you have 2 slot spells. You can cast 2 level 1 spells. And if you have a level 2 slot spell, you could also cast a level 1 spell as a level 2 spell.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. You prepare the list of artificer spells that are available to you to cast, choosing from the artificer spell list. When you do so, choose a number of artificer spells equal to your intelligence modifier, plus half your artificer level, rounded down, minimum of 1 spell.
All right.
The spells must...
Okay. So this the reason why I'm stopping right here is because that's all the information we need right now.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, because some people, like druids and clerics, can use anything from the spell list. You as an artificer have to learn your spells separately, almost like writing it in a book, but not quite. So when you choose to choose a number of spellcasters, let me just double check those. Wait, hold on.
Holding. Pause trip.
Wait, never mind. Okay, so prepared spells is not a rule set I really use. A long story short, if you go by this rule set, you're basically allowed to prepare a amount of spells that is equal to your intelligence modifier, plus your artificer's level. So you know what? Let's actually do that as what's your intelligence modifier? It's a 5. Fuck.
Let me scroll on up. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's 5.
So let's go through the spell list together and choose 6 spells that you have prepared, you've learned well, right?
All right.
6 level 1 spells, and there's quite a few level 1 spells, but not a bunch. So as an example, level 1 spells can include absorb elements, alarm, catapult, so on and so forth. What kind of spells do you imagine? You want elemental spells, right?
Yeah.
I would recommend
Or the
looking
bonfire?
at, say again?
One is create bonfire.
That's a cantrip.
Oh wait, level 1.
Yep.
Gotcha. Hee.
So absorb elements might be something you want to do. The spell captures some incoming energy, lessens the effect on you. You can use it as a reaction. We'll talk about that in the future. You have resistance to triggering damage until your next turn. So let's say, for example, someone throws a fireball at you. You can do absorb elements to lessen the damage that hits you.
Ooh.
There's the option to do catapult, which you basically throw something that does a lot of damage. Detect magic is always useful. You just detect magic around you. Fairy fire has like bright lines outline your enemies. It gives advantages to all attacks. Featherfall makes falling really chill. Like you're not gonna die or nothing. You're just gonna chilly fall. Grease makes difficult terrain, makes people trip. Purify food and drink. Sanctuary. There's a lot of good stuff here. What sounds interesting? False life is pretty good. I like false life. There should also be a heal spell somewhere around here too. Cure wounds.
That's what I was.
So what looks interesting to you?
I liked the one about making the ground hard to trip over.
All right, so that's gonna be grease.
There we go, grease.
Yep, just type grease
That
under.
one sounded really interesting.
Just type in grease as one of your spells on spell level 1.
Okay.
So we have 1 of 6.
Dope. All right. Let's do the absorb elements too.
All right, 2. Nice, good one.
Let me see. Cure wounds, because I was thinking that, like, oh, I should probably have like a healing one.
Yeah, all right.
We're gonna use magic. Let me use some magic to heal.
Okay, so that's 3.
Let's see here. What does buff mean? Like hyping up everybody?
In a way, yeah. Buff basically means you're strengthening your allies. So as an example, which spell are you looking at?
Sanctuary.
I'm gonna take a look at Sanctuary, because I've never used it. You create you ward a creature within range against attack. Until the spell ends, a creature who targets the warded creature with an attack or harm spell. So, okay, here's what happens, right? You hit someone with Sanctuary. Let's say your ally's really hurt, right? Let's say you're fighting with Calamity's Barbarian, and Calamity's Barbarian gets really hurt really bad. You cast Sanctuary on the Barbarian, and the thing is, the enemy now has to compete with your dice check, which we'll talk about later, to basically be able to psychically be able to attack that enemy. Because like you basically like you're forcing people to focus off of someone is what's happening.
Okay.
So if someone's really damaged and you say, no, you can't stop. You basically put like a mental stop sign in front of someone, and they have to beat your spell ability to actually attack them. So that's a really good way of really saving someone or helping someone who might be seriously injured.
Right. That's really cool.
Mm-hmm. Do you like it?
I do.
Put it
I'm gonna
down.
do it. I'm putting it down.
And here's the cool thing. As an artificer, these don't necessarily need to be spells. These could be creations. Like maybe you're throwing. Here's the cool thing. Like artificer, if you think about those exorcists, like in like a lot of the romanticized exorcisms of like the Eastern cultures, like with those sigils and papers and stuff. That's a kind of artificer. Throwing that paper to provide like or putting a paper on something like a seal. That could definitely be like a form of artificing, or making scrolls, or literally making like a magic gun that shoots out grease or something like that. That's the option for artificers. That you could do that. Or if you're an alchemist, you could be all potions. Like a splash damage, you throw a potion and it just smashes on an ally, and that just like you can say it gives off a noxious fume that enemies do not like. You know what I'm saying? Those are all things you can do. What's your question, Ethno? So you can flavor it as however you want as an artificer.
Gotcha.
What would a grease gun be good for? All right, you know what? Here, Segment, do me a favor. Let's imagine your character has a gun that shoots out grease. What do you think you use that for?
Ooh. Okay, here's the thing. What type of grease are we talking about?
The
Are we
spell
talking about I
grease.
just fried some French fries? The spell grease. Okay.
Now, it could be French fry oil. It could be French fry oil. I'm not saying it's not.
It's just a gun that shoots out fresh, extra virgin olive oil.
I mean, that would be exceptionally helpful.
So when you have to cook that big lamb, just coat it in the cut. Yeah.
Got you all.
So what would you use it for?
I picture like the character running up like a slope or like a mountain and being chased, and because the gnome is 3.5 feet, then like shooting the grease gun or the grease spell down the mountain. That way the people pursuing the gnome have to be really good at climbing.
There we
to
go.
be able to catch up, because it'd be pushing them down the mountain.
There's your answer, FNL. That's a good one. I like it. See, you're already thinking critically for your spells. I love it. All right, we have 2 more spells. What spells do you want? And I would say that if here's what I would say to answer your next question, Ethno, which was, can you burn people with boiling hot French fry oil? Yes. You just got to be smart about it. Maybe you're shooting grease down, and Anki's character is like, let me throw a match there, and I'm like, sure, you use up the grease, but you'll burn them all to hell.
Or I use my firebolt cantrip.
Oh, there you go.
Oh.
Look at you, Anki.
Very exciting.
I know, right? 2 more spells. Go for them, Sekhmet.
Okay, I was thinking catapult.
All right. Write it down.
And then also expeditious retreat.
Nice.
And then
That's it.
6.
That's 6. All right. We have one last thing to do for you. Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
Go down to spellcasting ability. Now, your proficiency
Gotcha.
All right. Spell save DC. Can you read that out for me?
8 plus your proficiency bonus plus your intelligence modifier.
Now, some spells you cast will require the enemy to make a save, which is against your spell save DC. In other words, how competent are you with this spell so the enemy cannot avoid it, right?
Oh.
So catapult requires them to make a dexterity saving throw against this number. So your spell save DC, what is it? It's going to be 8 plus your intelligence modifier plus your proficiency bonus. What is it?
Okay, so my proficiency bonus is 2.
Yep.
And then my intelligence is 5.
Add it all together.
15.
Yeah, there you go.
6.
So on the top, you're going to see above your cantrips, you're going to see this whole thing, spellcasting class, just put artificer. And then you're going to see spellcasting ability on the right-hand side, right? Put int for intelligence. Thank you, Prince Enki. And then spell save DC, put 15.
Gotcha.
Now, spell attack bonus. Your spell attack modifier is your proficiency bonus plus your intelligence modifier. What is it?
7.
There you go.
Ooh, look at me mathing.
Yeah. And that's your entire character sheet.
Whoa, dope.
With all the goofs and giggles and a bunch of people being here, we basically ran a session 0 and got a character sheet done. Which
Yo, I love this.
it's fantastic. You guys have there's a lot of stuff on here. There's a lot of stuff on your character sheet, and it is extremely intimidating for your first time. So first and foremost, everyone give a clap for everyone here that actually went through their first character creation. You guys did amazing. It will be confusing your first few times, 100%, but you guys gone through the brunt of it, and after you level up a few times, it's going to go by like that. Like, I could create a character easily within 20 minutes at this point.
Whoa.
The amazing gamer says clap, clap, clap.
Clap, clap, clap.
So, good job to all of you guys. Do you guys have any more questions for me?
When's the first session?
But I love how you explain things, so I know when I do have a question, I will not be nervous or anything.
Good.
I'll
That's
be like,
good.
oh, he's gonna help.
Yeah. That's the job of the DM. The DM's job is to be open to aiding someone and to really be understanding of a person, whether they be a new person or a veteran, to understand how they actually, how they could help their players the best. As a DM, my job is to make sure you guys know exactly what you're doing, how you're doing it, and when you're doing it, and to make sure that I can help you if I don't know. I don't know everything about the monk class. That's going to be Enki's specialty. I know a lot about the artificer class, but you might choose a different route than I typically do, Sekhmet. Barbarian, I play very little in, but I know Katie's done it before, and I've played Bard a few times, so I can help out Katie here and there as well. But the cool thing about it is we're all going to choose different things. I chose different colleges than Katie's probably going to choose. The way of the Barbarian that you're going to choose, Calamity, might be completely different. You guys might really get on with the rules of D&D, and you guys might be comfortable trying different kinds of subclasses that aren't just in the base rule set that we could talk about in the future when you hit level 3, and that might be a few games down the road. So this is how you basically make your characters. Of course, make sure your skills are all filled out and all that stuff, but you guys really champed it out. Good job.
Yes.
Now, be honest, how painful of a process was that?
Not too terrible.
It really
No.
wasn't that bad.
Yeah. I'll say it gets.
I got scared when the math came around.
You get faster and faster at it each time too.
Good to know.
Yeah, Katie probably finished about halfway through.
I tried to keep pace, but then I was just like, but I want to do this in a different order because it's easier for me to process.
Smart.
We have an
'Cause I can-
AMA. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, just because you'll develop your own way of going about it. Sure, I like to base everything off the character, so I'll jump to different parts that make sense for me. I don't want to calculate all the math until I know exactly what I'm going to try and be proficient in and things like that. So I like to jump around, but
Yeah, smart.
I have a very
Yeah,
mechanical way of going through it, which I went through you guys. A lot of things that are just kind of in memory for me, so I kind of go through it really quickly. I'll choose my race and class very quickly, and then I'll choose my background after that, or I'll make a background, which you are allowed to do actually. And I just kind of go right on from there. But yeah, Ethno has a question, and he's asking if I wanted to watch some really good D&D videos to help me explore the creativity and fun of D&D with a guy named Steph. How would I do that? And the answer is by going to youtube.com and going to Botanist Cool's page or the link provided in the chat box right now, watching our latest episode of Quest Helper, which is an episode all about... Let me click on the link real quick. I forgot.
Homebrew one?
Basic DPS builds. This is not a homebrew one. We're actually talking about DPS builds you could use to actually do it. So if you want to know a class, if you want to be a battle master fighter and do some damage, or an assassin rogue, that's going to be the video for you to really check out and understand those two classes. But yeah, welcome back, Super Aiden. That's what I've got for you guys today. D&D's a lot of fun. It is a little bit of work, but it is a lot of fun, and I hope you guys enjoyed your first tippy toes into D&D.
I loved it. Thank you so much.
It's more than my pleasure.
Yeah, thank you.
I offered this at the beginning of the stream, and I believe everyone here said yes. Thank you for my own shout on my own channel. I will run a game roughly once a month. If people really want to do more, I'll see if we can or can't. But I'm gonna say for now, let's be a little more conservative with our times we can meet up. Because I only have you four so far who've made characters. So a Westward March style is still a little limited at the moment. So I'll say once a month for now, and I'll kind of make its own section on Discord so we could plan that out. See how we can get that going. But yeah,
I can't wait.
I have a question for y'all, actually.
Yeah.
As a bard, should I already chose what I'm proficient in, but I can only have one instrument to start with. So do I go with the hurdy-gurdy or a lyre harp?
What's a hurdy-gurdy?
Hurdy-gurdy for the name.
A hurdy-gurdy is a fantastic instrument.
What is it? Describe it to us.
Hurdy-gurdy.
You don't know what a hurdy-gurdy is? I thought you played Sea of Thieves.
I did, but I don't know what it is.
You know what it is if you play Sea of Thieves. It's the instrument you have.
I'm looking it up.
Hurdy-gurdy.
How do you spell
It's
that?
showing it up as a.
It's exactly how you think you spell it.
It's like a music box lute.
Oh, yes. Hurdy-gurdy all the way.
This thing's pretty cool, actually. Yeah.
How about we hit that poll in the chat?
You spelled hurdy-gurdy wrong.
I don't care.
All right, guys, vote for Katie's instrument. Are you voting for a hurdy-gurdy or a lyre harp?
I'm going lyre harp.
Oh, come on.
I voted hurdy-gurdy.
I wasn't sure what a lyre harp
all the way.
as. Corvus is proficient with hurdy-gurdies, lyres, and harps, but I can only have one to start with.
It's a hurdy-gurdy, and then you can get the lyre later.
Oh, the lyre harp is what Barbados uses in Genshin Impact.
Yes.
Calamity wouldn't know that. Okay. So far, the poll is 3 for hurdy-gurdy and 2 for lyre harp.
Patrick. Let's go. Where my lyre harps at?
No, guys, vote hurdy-gurdy. I say
Any
vote
lyre harps in chat?
hurdy-gurdy.
Hurdy-gurdy.
Oh, this is incredible.
Oh. Jesus Christ. That's amazing. I will finish off real quick by saying how a game will basically run real quick. The most complicated part of a game is typically going to be a fight. That being said, my games tend to be a lot of roleplay. So as long as you guys are cool with roleplaying, talking, discussing, you do not need to have a character voice. I will do a few character voices here and there for some of the individuals just to differentiate them. I'm gonna have a really bad Brooklyn accent for pirates, which I've done before, or sailors. But there are some things that you don't need to have a character voice. You could have a character. You don't need to. You have a specific way they talk, whatever. But as long as you're cool with really getting a bit hurdy-gurdy wins. As long as you're cool.
Let's go.
Let's go with the hurdy-gurdy.
Next one is next question. So I know someone else took Cure Wounds. Should I also take Cure Wounds or a different one that I kind of want to take?
The one you want to take.
Be your own person.
Yeah, more or less.
Because I was like, Cure Wounds would be useful, but then I was like, but Sleep also seems like something Corvus would really like to be able to cast.
You do what you do, homie. That being said, if you want to bounce off the party, there is the option for parties to talk to each other and say, hey, would you like to bounce out or just go pure like individualism? Katie's the kind of person who typically does help with the party a lot. So what's your opinions, guys?
Yeah, because right now for my cantrips, I have Vicious Mockery.
Of course you do.
Well, he's a bard. Of course, he has to have vicious mockery. And I also have message, which will let him be able to sort of silently shoot messages into your heads. And then I have dissonant whispers, which is an attack. And then I was thinking sleep, because I figured he'd love to like. Not so much with the hurdy-gurdy, perhaps, but especially if he gets that lyre harp later, put people to sleep with it.
I like the one that's like violently putting thoughts in or whatever.
Oh,
That message.
that one
or
I already.
The other one.
Yeah, I already took.
Gotcha.
The choice
that
is
was
between cure wounds and sleep.
I like
Yeah.
sleep.
And sleep.
Sleep.
Does-
Go to sleep.
so-
So yeah, sleep basically like it's a kind of a chance about whether or not it works. Like
yeah.
I have to. It's based on how many hit points they have and how high I roll, kind of thing.
So as an
Yeah.
example, if you are attacking a big boar, right, and you don't want to kill it, but you want to bring it as a zoo specimen or something, right? And you get it down to look really weak, and then Katie casts sleep, you might be able to make it fall asleep. Or if you're
Now, one
fighting
more-
a whole bunch of enemies and you don't really want to kill them all either because you want to take one hostage, once again, you
Yeah.
can cast sleep.
One more question.
Oh.
Second, did you choose a healing spell?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then my vote's for sleep then.
No.
Alrighty.
Alrighty, sounds awesome.
Don't remind
I'm
people about my
excited.
Twitter, Ethno. Jesus Christ.
By the way, did you guys all pick names? Like,
Good question.
We haven't yet.
I have.
I have not picked names.
What's your name, Mankey?
Ia.
Oh.
Yeah.
that's a nice
Pronouns?
name.
He, him.
All right.
And how old is Ia? Is he is he over 100? Is he an adult?
Yes, but a young. He's a solid 125.
Okay, he's a
Oh,
young
so a
adult.
young lad, yes.
So fun little fact: elves don't become adults till about their 100th year. I think
Yeah.
it's typically around 80 to 100, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's 100. They get to choose their adult name,
Yeah.
even though they're like physically an adult.
Yeah.
At 18, everyone's like, "No, you're under 100. You're a baby." Yeah. Changelings have a normal lifespan, so I put him at like 22. So equivalence wise, kind of the same stage of life, I guess.
Yeah. After the
And his
120s, you
name-
could kind of go for a little while along that line. After like 120, yeah, he's around his 20s in human years.
Yeah, exactly. And his name, I named him Corvus.
Mhm.
It's a cool name.
Somehow I keep naming my changelings after birds. I don't know how this keeps happening, but
Captain Warhawk. That was pretty quick. We finished a little while ago. Now we're just kind of chit chatting about it. But like, honestly, for session 0, like a normal session is about 3 hours long. We hit 3 hours basically. Like we hit 2.5 hours, and we did a whole session 0 and character creation. That's not bad, y'all. Especially for your
That's
first time,
awesome.
that's not bad at all.
Mhm.
yeah.
Oh god, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I just want to play
I think I have
D&D
a
now.
Right? I always character creation like always gets me excited for the characters.
Yeah.
Mhm. By the way, what's Corvus's pronouns?
Oh, he.
All right. Well, what were you gonna say, Clem? You said you think it might have a name?
I think it might change.
Yeah, fair.
Kind of like Kells.
Ooh.
I don't know where it came from, honestly. I just came up with it. And she, her is the pronoun. So
All right. And Sekhmet?
I have no idea. I have not thought of names,
Fair enough. All right.
but I will.
No, yeah. Take your time. Take your time. We got time. As I said, it's gonna be like once a month, so I don't know when the next time is gonna be. As someone who creates OCs for a living, I feel this research. I get you. I was like, yes, I love creating character. Literally, any game I create a character, it takes a few hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was so
Thanks.
fun.
Because usually
Yeah.
what I do is like, I'll hear about like kind of a bit about the campaign maybe or what have you, and then what I wind up doing is I just sort of flip through. I have some D&D books, and I just kind of flip through them until I find like a concept and idea that kind of works.
Mm-hmm.
Like for this one, since we were talking about like making contact with people, that's how I got the idea. I was just scrolling through all the list of all the races, and I'm like, oh, a changeling, that could be interesting for quote unquote first contact. Because like he could bring something to the table no one else could, but virtue of being a changeling. All right. So if this is going to be his role, he needs something charismatic. So what are the charismatic classes? And then I'll sort of like drill down by that and like play around with it until I get something really neat.
There's a lot of cool ways to go through it. You guys will find your own ways. I typically go by character concept and then make a class and stuff for it. I don't always have a for sure mix. Typically I'll go artificer alchemist just because I'm biased. I love the class so much. I used to play druid all the time, and I've been looking at the Circle of Spores druid, which is like this whole weird necromancy druid using fungi, and I love it. I'll have to do that one day. But yeah, so the games are basically like, gonna be heavy role play. Once in a while we're gonna have some fights, and if you guys are cool with that, it's gonna be a blast. It's gonna be an absolute I'm excited. I'm glad you guys are very excited too. Oh god, that gets me going. All right, guys, thank you very much for joining me, Quest Helper. If you guys want to stay around and play some Splatoon, we're gonna play Splatoon for an hour. Then we're going to Super Smash Brothers, which you are also welcome to stay around. But of course, if you're busy, please make sure to go eat food.
Eat food. Woo!
I have crackers and cheese in front of me. Give me a second. That's all I got. I had to torture myself.
That's gonna eat a charcuterie board.
Oh god.
Oh, arcades, dude?
No, it's more along the lines of I have a eat cheese thing, and the horrible thing is I hate cheese.
Then why would you do that?
You see, my great fear for you, Steph, is that you're not getting good cheeses, and
Probably
therefore, like you're not getting good cheeses, and you're not getting high quality cheeses. So those two things combine to give you a biased view of cheese.
Let me put it like this: I put it on the channel point redemptions because people like seeing me suffer. That's how streamer life goes.
So terrible. I can't believe you would actually do that.
Yeah.
Why would they want to see you suffer and eat cheese?
Calamity. Okay, I see what you're getting at.
What you need is the soft cheeses. You need the soft cheeses that like you put out for like fancy holiday parties that you spread on top of crackers.
Okay, I agree with Ethano.
Ethano?
Mozzarella is pretty heckin' good, so.
Mozzarella
it's soft cheeses, but I like cheese, so.
I like feta. That's really about it. But I'm biased because of my blood.
Okay, Mr. Greek.
Yeah.
Hey, what kind of Splatoon are we doing?
Let's see. What have we got?
I think I'm gonna hop off to get some dinner and get ready for work for tomorrow, so.
I'm
Sounds
probably
fantastic.
gonna hop off
Later.
because I can't play.
Thanks for having me. It's been fun.
Thank you for
Fun
coming,
vibing with
Calamity. And thank you very much, Katie, for coming. Guys, Calamity's fantastic, and so is Katie. Feel free to plug yourselves if you want to. Katie does Ace Attorney with me. And those are really fun days when I get my Edgeworth voice and talk about how much I love Phoenix Wright. Ew, no.
I'm scared.
Do you not like my edgy voice?
Yeah. No. yeah, I do.
It's better than my Von Karma voice, which is like
Your Von Karma voice is just you destroying your throat for the views.
He has the lowest and most violent voice, so it's like, objection! I object to this because I don't want the bull to get on my shoulder. How dare you do this to me? It's an objection!
And then Steph never spoke again.
Yeah, basically. I actually did mess with my voice a little bit.
Right, I'm good enough. But
Oh no.
See you later.
have a good night, guys.
Bye.
Good night.
I'm gonna hop off too. Peace out and have fun Splatooning.
Thank you very much. You have a fantastic time, all right? And thank you very much for joining.
Oh my gosh, thank you. This is great.
My pleasure. Need some water, please. Water. Should be hydrated. Okay, let me get the. I'm actually gonna have to do that separately because I have to get. Thank you. You staying on?
Yes. I'm gonna disconnect real quick, but I will be back in a couple minutes for some Splatoon. Cool.
I'm actually gonna head on off to get water real quick because I am out of water. Which means I'm gonna put on emote mode for just a moment while I'm gone and while Enki's gone. That way we can make sure the stream stays safe and there's not any bot rates anymore, which is awesome, but doesn't mean it's impossible.
Be careful though. The other day I went to stream and my chat had like 25 bot accounts in it. I had to ban them all before starting.
Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna do an emote. I'm gonna do emote only chat. Guys, I'll be right back in one moment. Thank you very much for your patience. Spam emotes. Go insane will fit. Please and thank you. And I'll see you in 1 second, all right? Bye, everyone.